possible. Second guessing themselves though, as all of Na'Vi did reset. They've moved themselves out of the lane. Na'Vi's actually okay, doing maybe a heads-up play here, going behind enemy lines perhaps, getting a ward down, just be able to watch the Medusa and the rotation from that Void Spirit.
Gee, it's about 2 seconds too late to pop that smoke.
He had a read. He knew something was up.
Yeah. And he probably still has a read. They've got to be up here. If nobody's in the triangle, of all places, like, triangle's always populated with somebody. So if nobody's there, they got to be making a move. They just give up top lane, it seems.
Always want to fly, tries to set up the gank for mid with the glimpse play, but Melojul has a nice Aether Remnant scouting the tree line, so he's able to get away. And Roger cancels the TP, so continues to look to pressure top. Is this the book 2 coming out? Yeah, no, it's still just the book 1 for general. Pressure being applied though on both fronts here as top and mid are getting invaded quite hard. Does get the snipe onto V-Tune's courier. I think he already picked up his items from it. It was on the return. Nonetheless, some gold.
TP's out, goes to the bottom tier 2, doesn't head all the way back to
mid lane
base here. Nice roll in, the silence follow up. Iceberg's gonna get on top of him with the Spirit Siphon, but Iceberg still not picking up a level of his silence himself. I kind of would have liked to see that against a Void Spirit.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Especially when like Earth Spirit's his is always low. Like you're not gonna max silence him ever, so it's always gonna take time. Yeah, it doesn't have a single point. It's relying on disrupted. Always want to fly to get in, but yeah, only 2 points in the glimpse. If he had the 3rd point, maybe, but wanted to help out the lane more for the 2 points in Thunderstrike. Don't miss him a kill.
I've also found that very often that extra level in Spirit Siphon doesn't change that much, you know? I feel like 3 charges is a lot to work with most of the time. But General is going to be pulled back in here to G. They have the wall. That's enough to slow him down and make sure that the Impale definitely lands. Shasho's got to be a little bit careful. Oh, no! The Ion Shell kills the melee Necronomicon Warrior. And G going to be caught inside the kinetic field, so an exchange well worth it for General as they immediately smoke up and start moving with an invasion.
They have the ward. They saw Nefrit for a second.
They don't have glimpse.
Absolutely everything.
But they are going to get the roll in with the Static Storm. No opportunity for Stone Gaze. Big kills for Na'Vi as they are picking up the pressure and applying it heavily to Extremum. Fortunately, they still have the Train Protector that can help keep this mid tower alive, but we'll see if they could just kind of all in it right now.
The Medusa actually did not have Mana Shield on there. That's why she just melted so quickly. So I thought maybe they had a little bit of time if she did, but either way, General.
Missing the initiation onto General. General Impale, and it's on to 2 as Roger rolls headlong into it with the Ion Shell doing some serious damage. That's going to be 2 quick kills. A silence on Melojul, but he's going to be okay. Shotchlow with the run. He's going to be pulled right back by the glimpse, so they should be able to get the pick off on him. The Hood of Defiance is actually making him rather tanky here, and if anything, Extremum with the Stone Gaze popped up. They pull him back in with the Void Spear, and Roger, he goes right into that fight, gets the Magnetize off, but that might not even kill Shotchlow here, as the tick is not going to be enough. He stays alive. That's a dieback for Roger.
Extremum just very good about making sure they hold these towers. Just Na'Vi over pushing their limits a bit too far there. Even trying to get some quirky plays with this Death Prophet, just trying to force it, but everyone just shows up on Extremum again and again. And G just on point with his Impales. Again, a 2-man. And yeah, Na'Vi just not ready to really fight. V-Tune, he needs some more time. He went for the Hood first, as we've seen popularized a lot. Now he has the Fusel, but yeah, that last fight, it was not his time to shine yet.
Love that bit of synergy there with the Void Spirit pulling and very similar to like Axe or something like that, and forcing you to actually look into the Stone Gaze. Very nice combination. We've seen plenty of like Kata. That would actually be the best combo.
Yeah,
but works quite well here. And would it be wrong to say, Funked, I feel like Na'Vi is definitely showing a bit of a weakness here. I like their play better in this game 1. That fast move where they caught Nefrit was really cool after just winning a fight top, but it does feel like they crack a little bit when you play this heavy defense around towers. They take some fights that are a bit messy and not very well advised, let's say.
They're just, it's full-blown aggression from Na'Vi, really. They just they push it too far almost every time, it feels like, especially today. They've been a lot more disciplined in most of their games when they get their heroes. Maybe they're feeling a little bit off the foot because people have gotten to see them so many times now, and they're having to play this different style, this Earth Spirit plus Enigma style, which maybe it's tripping them up a tiny little bit. They do have this good timing though. Book 3, General does have this finished already, and this is a big timing for them. Diffusal, Hood, Book 3, Yule's also an Iceberg with a Haste Rune. Not quite level 12 on this Death Prophet, but they can now swing Extremum out of their jungle. Extremum might not be able to fight against this now. The PL is going to take over the fights for sure if he does show up.
Push through with the Necro 3s, D-ward everything.
Yeah. Get the whole high ground advantage too, so the fight will be dictated on your pace. Yeah, this is going to be a lot harder for Extremum now to fight into a PL who's actually completely ready to fight. Okay. Double Ion Shells are ready though.
His Treant Protector. The Living Armor, it's forcing Na'Vi to commit to these tower pushes, I think, a lot more heavily than they would want to. Normally, you'd just be able to, like, okay, throw the Eidolons and the Necronomicon units at the tower, do a bunch of damage, and you'll kill it the next push, the next round of spells. But, nice initiation from Roger as G gets a little bit too far. He goes over to the other side of the river. They're going to make their full initiation, though, and Ketch always want to fly, but it's a little bit awkward there with the Static Storm. Iceberg going in. He's got a Haste Rune after all. He's going to force Nefrit to turn and do something here. Does he have a TP? He doesn't have a TP. He does have a bunch of wand charges, and the Living Armor heal is doing a lot for him, but Nefrit might just die here as Iceberg is going to stick on his tail. Still got the Yule Scepter, a little bit more Spirit Siphon, the last bit of damage. Oh no, 90 HP is what he's going to survive on. Fortunately, Iceberg seems good as Chu is going to quickly get gobbled up by V-Tune, surrounding him with all these illusions with the Diffusal Blade. Impale goes out onto General. Thinking about making this play. They're going to go for it with the Vendetta. G trying to run him down, but now it's Extremum's turn to get a little bit too aggressive, searching for kills that they cannot get. Na'Vi win a big team fight behind the Tier 1 towers. Maybe that's one way to do it. Don't fight around the Tier 1, fight around the Tier 2.
V-Tune was on the high ground for 10 seconds as well, just watching from the cliff, and then as soon as he shows up there, they all have to Delta split. Melojewel even also getting chased out all the way by Roger, and it ends up dying while the chase is happening mid on the Dusa. On the bottom right side, he was getting forced out. A commanding fight by Na'Vi, just starting to show that power when PL turns up, when V-Tune turns up versus this fight. He's a monster. There's not really great solutions for this Phantom Lancer, and he's really starting to snowball out of control. We saw this the other day from him as well, just versus very little counters of the PL.
This is a V-Tune specialty, like you said. Yep. Give him some of those. It's like him and what is his name now? Nightfall. The illusion, the young guns of CIS being illusionist specialists. You know.
Yeah. Oh, Epikid. Yeah, that's right. Maybe,
yeah.
Was it actually Epikid the other day? Now I'm thinking about, maybe I did confuse the two of them for a second.
Shot slope. Get out the wall, Replica. He knows he's in trouble, so just fight around your wall as best you can. It's a good try, good attempt. He was hoping to be able to at least kill Always Want to Fly, but ultimately what does happen is he dies, and now his wall is on cooldown for a bit.
And I feel like that hurts them a lot in the fights. I feel like this wall is actually going to be extremely significant versus that PL. It's kind of their only, their only counter. Have your own PL yourself. As these aggressive wards, they already have an idea where Nefrit is, immediately start to chase him. And they're bringing the PL, V-Tune. He knows he can show up to all these fights. He has no risk of really dying. They don't have the controller damage for him. And he will eat Nefrit.
Yeah. No, this is very concerning. I mean, we're at that point where he has a ton of illusions, but they're still kind of low on HP. But Nefrit doesn't really pump out a ton of damage just yet. No. And so it feels like Nefrit's just going to get outscaled, where you're going to get that big HP increase on the Phantom Lancer. I don't know what you go nowadays. I don't know if you still go Heart like you used to, or what that item is after Manta. But I feel like that's the end game right there, is Medusa just will no longer be able to play against that unless you're super far ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree. It'll likely be that Heart choice, and they don't have the damage to deal with it as is. When he has a Heart, Nefrit has to build defensive too. He's queued up the VKB because of this mana burn and just the crazy amount of spells that Na'Vi does have. It feels like he needs it. And that's going to hurt him, because then he's literally going to have, they're going to have absolutely nothing to do with V-Tune. And the Heart's already queued. He's going to have the Manta finished up, and he's going to go for that next. And Na'Vi starting to get very good footing in this game.
G's going to go for the shard, as most Nyx assassins want to do. A little bit better for scouting and playing that front line. We also saw the Aghanim Scepter almost done for the Darkseer, so we're going to have that just another big buff, being able to have the extra charges as well as the 350 health.
I kind of would have liked G. He hasn't committed yet, but if he can, I'd like him to try to get the Blink Dagger. He has Darkseer on his team. It's just, it makes the whole combo work and just make it so much easier for you to always get those impales. He's also playing versus Enigma, so then he can position himself to stop the black holes in pretty much every situation. Okay. He's the 5 position, so it's hard to find that farm, but definitely would like to see that from him.
Help him stop the black hole as well, right? Yeah. I like that. Okay, well, do they have anything? I mean, the down part of the Train Protector pickup, great for defending these towers, but it only really feels good if you have the superior late game, right? And seems like Na'Vi, not only are they actually managing to take some of these outer towers, but when it fails like this, V2 just backs off and continues farming.
Just getting more out of the map, just moving Extremum around too, and this PL, he really is the king of the game. He supports, it's gonna get harder and harder for either G or Chu to pretty much do anything, as now Shashlo, he gets left alone up top.
I didn't quite see how he ended up in those tree areas, but...
Yeah, maybe it was just Ion shelling the waves from the tree line or something and then just ran up and got caught. Not sure, I didn't see the start of it either.
It just sucks that Na'Vi are so easily able to kind of force a commitment out of Extremum. They're like, oh, we're going to hit this tier 2 tower, right? And all of Extremum moved to be able to defend. And as a result, Na'Vi get to play a super farm efficient game where V2 pushes out the mid lane. You know, they're hitting jungle and top area as well as triangle. And now they have enough opening for them to be able to take this Roshan. So now we can get some real commitment from this Phantom Lancer, potentially take even more real estate. It's I think it's about to get real dark in here for Extremum.
Yeah, the map control from Always Want to Fly and Na'Vi has just been really nice. Once they started feeling like they got any type of lead, the ward coverage and everything, they see everything that Extremum's trying to do as G up top. We'll get the Carapace off, and we'll be able to disengage. But they're just able to watch everything from Extremum. And Extremum, it feels like it's a Medusa game, but even more so this time around because Mellow Jewel's having this tough time on the Void Spirit, so it's absolutely everything about this Medusa with nowhere near the same amount of buffs as last game. Yeah. No one to carry a Solar Crest. He's just got an Ion Shell and Living Armor, which aren't the most beneficial on a hero like Medusa.
15-16, a 2,000 net worth lead for Na'Vi. But more importantly, they've got the carry matchup.
And Iceberg's also farming really well in this game too, and he's got this BKB so early on. There's nothing really to counteract him. If he's BKB'd running in the fights, it full counters Extremum, and then he can just get right on top of this Medusa every single one of the fights. So it's the PL matchup, and it's also just they're getting so much on everybody.
G.
It's Mellow Jewel.
He does manage to find an opening for Mellow Jewel to finish off that Disruptor. Iceberg, he tries to come in. Extremum, though, you can see even after a pickoff like that, they can't even like, okay, guys, let's push the creep wave over the river. Like, nah, they got to back up. As they're still fighting into an Aegis of the Phantom Lancer.
It is pretty crazy how all their lanes are forced in so much when they're the team with Darkseer and Tree. Like, usually these heroes are pretty good at dealing with split push, but Na'Vi just force hitting it too hard and forcing these fights. Like you said, making them move around the map is 5. And a V-Tune, he's already starting to burn some of Nefert's mana. And now the book on him too. He has to BKB.
They're saying, we got to fight sometime here, boys. Then they're going to go for the bounty runes here on the triangle. They're going to try and pull back Iceberg. Iceberg, though, He didn't get hit by the Remnant. The Void Spirit missed out on that one, hitting a Necronomicon unit instead. The Silence not quite there in time, and he does manage to get the Dissimulate shortly after. A pullback onto Nefrit. Short amount of distance, but still enough to get him inside the Static Storm. The kinetic field around him, the Black Hole going off as well. They know all of Extremum have retreated, so they say this is a free Black Hole, and they're absolutely correct in that. Now the roll-in is, barely skeets right in front of Shotslow. If he'd actually nailed him with that boulder, pretty sure the Darkseer would have died as well. But as it is, even just the carry means Na'Vi have free reign of the map.
Oh man, these fights just are not going to get easier at all too. Every time that now that he has committed for BKB, they're aware of it. That's exactly how they're going to kick off all the fights. So he has to really hide on this Medusa now and just let the other heroes really frontline for him and protect him, because he shows they're going to poke him, they're going to force the BKB and just do this kind of dance and reset. So fights, Extremum have to be prepared for them to just poke and prod him. They have to either like full commit when they are poking and prodding, or just have a better way to fight around it and just protect that Dusa. It's not easy.
And that's where your like faster Blink Dagger for the Nyx Assassin could have helped, right? In forcing the enemy team, if they're going to poke, actually make that a team fight that's going to work for you. It's top lane.
Yeah, like
he sees the courier coming in. He tries to give the warning. Look out, Melojul. You're getting ganked up right now with all these couriers running up to top lane. But it looks like Melojul, ooh, nice sidestep there. Doesn't get hit by the boulder. Roger had an idea. It wasn't a bad idea, but slightly off there. Nefrit. Nefrit. He's going to have to pop the Stone Gaze here. Burned out of all this mana. The Phantom Lancer looking to commit even still. Might be able to reach him. Vacuum pulling him back away from the Medusa. Nefrit's going to be okay. Shotslow still has a Surge to work with, so they're all fine. But still, I mean, it says so much that this Medusa, she's always running away.
And they can't make any aggressive moves themselves, because I feel like Melojul is actually the only one who can make the aggressive moves now at this point. Like Nyx, sure, G is a monster on his own, but he doesn't have a partner in this game. Melojul is just unable to actually make those type of moves. And Nefrit, at least he held his BKB when they did go on him there. He actually did not pop it. So it does at least still have that 9 second for the next fight, but there's just, the map control is just getting better and better for the side of Na'Vi. And Chewy, he's getting like this blink, and he's getting this farm on this tree, but I'm not feeling what it's going to contribute into the fights. Maybe we'll see just a vacuum overgrowth meteor hammer and it'll change everything that I'm talking about, but have yet to see it so far.
Yeah, no, that seems like a bit of a dream, not rooted in reality, considering the fact they do have so many ways to stop that combination, right? With all these silences and stuns they've got from their their 2, 4, and 5 position.
Yeah, it could catch them off guard though, right? Like if he sees G, or if he sees Iceberg overcommit with and he pops BKB on this Death Prophet, and they get a Stone Gaze, they blink, they overgrowth, they can actually do some decent damage inside of the fight. So we'll see how he is able to make it work. It's still a very uphill battle for them, and I still am very curious who's going to deal the damage versus this Heart PL who just finished it. But they will have at least some type of follow-up and setup in the fight. I think this PL is just going to, maybe even if everyone else dies, I think V-Tune's going to just kill the entire enemy team.
Yeah, this Medusa's working towards a butterfly. Traditionally, Phantom Lancer doesn't like building MKB, but when you're this far ahead, boy, look at that hero damage difference. That's pretty rough.
Yep.
When you're this far ahead, I don't think Phantom Lancer, that butterfly's not going to be the biggest power spike in the world. So he's going to be Heart Scotty.
Yeah, he's going to be, he's already at kind of critical mass versus this lineup of Extremum, as they just don't have the damage to deal with him at all. And at least the one fortunate thing they do have is the wall. I see you only put 1 point in it though. Let's get that level 14. Let's get 2 points, because that might be the best counter versus the PL, just himself.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Heart finished up. Na'Vi, they look at the bottom half of the map. They say, okay, there's a tier 1 and tier 2 still there. That's pretty much free real estate, free gold there for the taking. We can make kind of an efficient move if we want to. Cut mid, cut bottom. Take those towers without giving up like too much map control to Extremum. Extremum, meanwhile, are going to play into the enemy triangle and see if they can get some sort of advantageous setup here against Na'Vi.
They've got a read. Navi's got a read of where this is going down, though. They think the whole swing on the right side. Nobody shows up. They're going to now swing onto the high ground, perhaps, just to get some information. They will. They're going to at least see that nobody else is up here, and now they know exactly where Extremum is going to be set up all around that tower. Extremum going to full bail as soon as that ward does start getting taken out from Na'Vi. But they don't lose anything. Decent little dance coming out.
Might still be able to take this tier 1 tower with the Train Protector, but yeah. Everyone else backed away as soon as they saw their ward being dewarded like that. They know their retreat is kind of being cut off, and the only way back is TP.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And look how Na'Vi, with this swing, look at the coverage now of the map. They have all the information. Leaving Extremus base, it's going to be telegraphed completely. Na'Vi's going to know every single time when they go to set up toward these. So they got to try to get the D wards out here at some point soon. They will be at least able to finish this tower. Chu might get caught now, though.
He's got G with them, so maybe they can pop. Always want to fly real quickly. Melajewel makes it a lot easier with that silence, but now, can they get out without being sandwiched?
Oh.
Jules? Oh, man.
Nighttime. Couldn't
Oh,
quite
no.
see it at first.
Shochlo, he's been caught on the other side of the map. Again, is going to throw out the wall. They do have the overgrowth. Shochlo is probably still going to tick out, but maybe they can fight this since they know there's not a whole lot of heroes around this area. They're going to be able to pop the Earth Spirit, but the real Phantom Lancer is already playing the edges. In fact, he is tempted to go back in. He's got some help coming down the river here. He's going to chase after him. The smoke goes off from G. It's immediately broken. His V2 already had the charge onto him. Sees him
He knows
again.
how strong he is.
Oh yeah, he feels very, very strong. He's going to go for the kill on a G. The Stone Gaze is not going to stop that.
He actually got, he actually forced the Stone Gaze as well. That one from Nefra was very defensive. Now 80 seconds where they're not going to have it. Na'Vi might just force the issue here. The lanes aren't in a beautiful position though, but mid is actually kind of pushing in, and they do have a catapult wave. They might look to swing over there with a fresh level 18 on the Death Prophet, so level 3 Ghosts at the ready. Yeah, no Stone Gaze, no Train Protector ulti. No wall now. I think you can full commit if you are Na'Vi.
What about the fact that Roshan's coming up, though?
That is a good point.
Yeah.
But they don't know just yet. Send some couriers to go scout it. But I think that they can apply pressure and just keep them trapped inside their base for the next few moments.
Just do that like safe kind of push where you know, okay, we're not really going to take a team fight here, guys, but we're just going to force them to sit in their base. We're going to get a courier into Roshan. As soon as that's up, we can go ahead, run back, maybe even smoke back to Roshan, get some good vision down, take that kind of team fight.
I think they could honestly just force the issue, but if they want to be safe, yeah, just back up for the Roche when it does come up. Because at V2, I think V2 and Iceberg actually can just straight up frontline and just hit the base, since there's going to be so much time for this Medusa to get Stone Gaze and everything at the ready, and they can't do anything without their combo. They're just going to have to watch on Extremum.
No, that's absolutely true. With that wall and Stone Gaze, it's like they need every single one of their abilities to make that big combo you're talking about to have a chance to win this fight. That, yeah, I think your idea is definitely not that crazy. It all just depends on exactly how safe and disciplined Na'Vi want to be. They want to go for the 99% safe play, back up and do Roshan. You want to go for the 90% safe play, take a little bit of risk 99% safe play, back up and do Roshan. You want to go for the 90% safe play, take a little bit of risk.
Last game too, I think they're going to just hit the high ground because
take a little bit of
risk.
99% safe play, back up and do Roshan. You want to go for the 90% safe play, take a little bit of risk.
Last game too, I think they're going to just hit the high ground.
Take a little bit of risk. 99% safe play, back up and do Roshan. You want to go for the 90% safe play, take a little bit of risk.
Last game too, I think they're going to just hit the high ground.
Take a little bit of risk. 99% safe play, back up and do Roshan. You want to go for the 90% safe play, take a little bit of risk.
Last game too, I think they're going to just hit the high ground.
Take a little bit of risk. 99% safe play, back up and do Roshan. Letting somebody else lead that charge, more often than not playing around his team rather than solo playing in an area and being like, this is my map.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a Beastmaster, but wait. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're a Beastmaster, but like your kill power comes with heavy commitment. Beastmaster, you roar, you've got the extra movement speed, you can run away and let your Necronomicons do the dirty work, Enigma doesn't have that same kind of play.
No, it's a full commit when you go in, for sure.
seeing all kinds of stats pop up that all pretty much say the same thing, which is Na'Vi has been in good control of this game. They've been the ones with more map control. They've been taking the Roshan. They've been taking the bounties. We've been seeing this Medusa getting picked off a few times, which has led to the Phantom Lancer getting way, way far out and ahead when it comes to the net worth. And as a result, he's just able to take up more and more of the map because he's getting stronger and stronger, and Extremum's running out of damage to be able to deal with him.
Yeah, they just don't have it. They just will not have it for a very long time. It's like the next two items for the it's gonna have to be Butterfly and into Rapier onto the Medusa, and I mean that'll satisfy a little bit, but I still don't even think that's enough. It's not enough just himself to be able to take it out. It's a very uphill battle for Extremum. As I wonder what happened to Chu. He's been gone for quite some time now.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay. As it's got the spider legs on a tree protector.
I did see that too.
What happened to protecting the trees?
Hey, as long as you don't use it, he's already walking over the trees anyway, so he doesn't have to use it. He's speedy. I mean, that's actually a good thing to point out. I've been looking around at the neutral items. He's really liking I mean, everyone loves the Quicksilver amulet so much.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like with Medusa, it doesn't seem that phenomenal. You have two passives.
Yeah. You've got that Mystic Snake that I guess you usually throw out at the start of a fight, but no, I agree with you.
The projectile speed and the animation is definitely massive, but I mean, I didn't actually even look what other options he did have this game.
Feels like all the new items are a bit overtuned.
I have to agree. I see Elven Tunic, and I'm like, Jesus, this item just has everything you want in it.
Yeah.
And then look at Cloak of Flames. It's just like, wow, like armor, magic resist, and I do AoE. Sure, like dream item for a hero like Death Prophet. Like, yeah, definitely feel the same. Even like Possessed Mask on certain heroes just feel like absolutely busted. But
Fairy Trinket as well. Similar argument where it's like on certain heroes, it's just way too good for a tier 1 item. Yeah, Cloak of Flames, I think, is one of the ones that surprised me the most when I was like, oh, that's a really cool active. The passive must not be that good, but, like, you get armor and magic resistance? Like, all right, I can understand one or the other, but it's...
At least it got nerfed. It was really busted when it first got added. It was it was just too big, too much... It just gave too much. Yeah, it did get slightly hit.
Yeah, the fact that it did full damage on illusions as well was kind of busted for certain heroes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. I'm not a Radiance hero, but now I've got Radiance-like farming capabilities.
Some of them are hard to really keep track of, like the ceremonial robe in team fights too, right? Like I feel like that one's really weird because it's like status and magic resist and stuff. It's just I haven't seen it like throw anybody's timing off yet, like with their disables, but I feel like people still are forgetting what some of them do. Like I see people with Psychic Headband not use it the entire game.
Oh yeah,
it has an active.
That one's a weird one to use for sure. All right, so what are the? I know you're a fiend, fucked. When it comes to watching Dota, I see you watching streams all the time since we're Twitch friends. What What are some underrated heroes of the patch? What are some heroes that you're like, that's a sleeper right there?
I don't know about I can't really say a sleeper because this was really popular, but when I saw Clinks the other day, I was like, why is Clinks not played every game?
Yeah.
That hero still seems like you get to a point where your skeletons, you have like eight skeletons or something in these fights, and the skeletons are just killing people. He does so much damage. He scales super hard too. I don't know. Maybe that's one of them for me, but that was known, of course, at the beginning. Everyone was like, Clinks is broken. So I don't know. I've been kind of playing like the same heroes a lot, to be honest with you. I've loved Shadow Shaman. I feel like that's one of my favorite fours right now.
Yeah. Clockwork. That's one of my favorite fours right now. I'm a Clockwork player, so any meta of Clockwork feels good. I'm just gonna be spamming it because God, he's so fun. But I think Pango's a little bit of a sleeper just because he got so many buffs. With his shard is like a huge buff when it comes to. I mean, multiple things, right? Making sure you actually get off your ultimate in time when it comes to certain things like, say, playing up against an Invoker with Cold Snap. You get that shard, like you guarantee, okay, fast magic immunity, guaranteed roll up, or very similar to like a Eul's Scepter where you just want to combo stun somebody. That shard makes a whole lot of difference. There's the The Orb of Corrosion is a big buff to him as well. And then I've just been playing all those weird fives that honestly look super fun. Tried Brewmaster, Death Prophet. I'm going to try Naga Siren because Always Want to Fly made that look really busted in the laning phase, and just how he just did not give a single flying hoot.
Yeah, I think Dota's in a cool state where, you know, everyone else says, you know, the Noto thing, it's anything can work, but I think we're getting even more toward that territory. You sure you're gonna have like some flaws and some holes in your drafts at times because of it, but it's cool to see just the variety that we're seeing. I'm seeing like, you know, Puppy picks Puck 5 one game, then he plays Chen another, then we've seen Enchantress and like other. There's so many different varieties. Like you said, Naga 5 position, Death Prophet 5 position. Just feels like we're in a pretty cool state of the game where you can play your heroes and you don't have to just be locked in a role.
I'm getting more and more convinced that the Juggernaut build that people are experimenting more and more with, which is getting the Swift Blink with the Shard, Maelstrom, Mjolnir, like getting the Aghanim Scepter. Like, oh my god. You don't have some sort of instant disable or BKB piercing disable. It's actually insane because this guy, he Swift Blinks on you. He either does his Omni Slash or he does his Swift Slash. Either one, like, you know, just a small bit of single target damage if you do the Swift Slash. And then you immediately spin afterwards, and you're going like 700 movement speed because of the Swift Blink. It's insane.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I think the Jug is probably one of the best carries, if not, like, yeah, actually probably the top 3 or so right now in the patch for me. He just feels, unless he's versus a straight up counter, like he's versus like summons like a Lycan or something like that. He can still also itemize versus it, but he's so powerful. This Shard is absurd.
Yeah.
You do so much damage. Your spin is ridiculous too with the talent. There's nothing that you can really build to counter the hero, it feels, in a lot of situations. Chuvash has no reconnect button.
Oh dear. Well, not to worry, lads and ladies. We are still in beta here when it comes to Dota 2. So, these things tend to happen.
There's no way to get back in, right? If that happens, you can't get back in.
No, there's no
They're going to have to micro him.
I'm pretty sure there's no console command that lets you get back into things.
No. I mean, this game was looking pretty much impossible for them anyway, but that would be very unfortunate because they just got a lot of item timings for themselves.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'll be honest, if I was on Extremum's side, like, I don't know if I would be mad, you know? I'd be like, okay, that game felt pretty over. But they're going to try it out. They're going to play it out 4 versus 5 and try and micro Chu, which I was going to say is a hero that doesn't need a whole lot of microing. And then I remembered he's got the Meteor Hammer as well, so.
Well, this is going to be very difficult for them.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're able to somehow now weather it, as he was also the one who was split pushing and actually making this lead look less commanding. It says only 5K, but I feel like it would be a lot more if he wasn't split pushing. And now that they're not going to have that split push at all.
Yeah,
that feels bad.
He was constantly forcing reactions out of the enemy. Anytime he sees someone where he's split pushing, whether he gets caught or not, it means the Medusa feels comfortable at actually going outside and being a little bit more aggressive and where she could farm.
Yeah, I mean, now Navi's just got the whole map's open. Roche has respawned. They're going to back up. They haven't actually sent the courier to scout it. The pauses always mess with people's heads too, and they're trying to like reset. Roger's just like farming neutrals now because they know the game's in the bag. He's just going to get a BKB, and they're going to be able to get so much more on the map. 4v5. Oh, I hate when games get like this.
Yeah, it just becomes sort of an inevitable farm fest. And the team that's playing 4 versus 5, I mean, I have no idea, but Chu, maybe he does a bit of shot calling. I'm sure he does, since he's playing the 4 position. Like, losing your shot caller is just going to make things even harder to operate. Melojul does manage to find the pick off on Always Want to Fly. Has to pop his BKB. He doesn't have mana. Okay, there you go. Regen's back up. Oh, God. The black hole comes in from General. And now he's going to die.
Oof. Right next to Roche as well. So right into Roche. Na'Vi can go. And Nefrit just needs to, like we said, farm Rapier. And that's pretty much the only chance that they even have. Even if Chu is here, it was still the same case. He needs this Rapier after the BKB to have any hope. After the Butterfly, sorry. But now they're into an Aegis and a Cheese.
Kind of feel like they know Roshan's going on. Nobody wants. Just give that to the Dusa. Let her get that farm. All right, Aegis and Scotty. Done for V-Tune. Yikes.
Inevitable defeat incoming.
Yeah.
Again, dude, Shashflo again did not put his point in his ult. He just got his talent. Okay, I got the talent. Never mind. He did get the 4th point of Surge, though, instead of getting level 2 wall, and then he took the talent. So, I mean, I think that they need everything they can get, but either way, it probably wouldn't have saved them anyway.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Comes to an extra 15% damage out of that illusion. When you already have some damage issues, he's gonna die. Bye-bye.
And they will be, I mean, Chu, or whoever's microing Chu, will continue to split push bottom. He does not have a TP. Can they even buy him a TP when he's not there? So he can't TP back to base. He's gonna have to make the long run back as V-Tune starts the siege.
Oh dear. Well, there goes their big old wombo combo. They're gonna have to wait a bit. V-Tune's just gonna start poking away at Nefrit's mana. This is the problem when you don't have the damage yet on the Medusa. Illusions will start burning away your mana bit by bit. All right. Chu is here. Not actually inside the server, but his hero is here. And he's with the Extremum in spirit anyways. Metal tries to go for the pick off on Always Want to Fly like he did before, but this time around he ran out of damage. Now he's going to be running out of BKB charge. Does have to dissimulate. Dodges the 1 stun from Rogers. Good, he's going to get pulled back in. With no dissimulate, it just kind of means he's free for glimpsing. G comes in, executes Always Want to Fly, who immediately buys back, but now Void Spirit is finally gonna head down to the grave. Chu sitting here, waiting for his opportunity. Actually gets rolled on by Roger. Roger reveals there's a real tree protector here. Somebody micro him. Oh, they're gonna pop the ultimate on just Roger here, who's immediately gonna pop his BKB in turn. Get it out of that route. Get the silence onto everybody. Microing. Not going so hot for Chu. They're gonna go for the 1-man black hole onto the Darkseer. Nefrit doing bits of damage. Does manage to bring down General, and Nefrit, oh, he's doing some real work here on some of the heroes that are not Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer, though, is at half health, still has plenty of heart to work with. And eventually, Nefrit's going to be all alone. In fact, I almost feel like he's intentionally leaving Nefrit alone as he's just continuing to sit there, right-click, right-click, right-click. But it's resulting in almost nothing. As V-Tune still has the Aegis to work with here, so he can just kind of suicide bomb onto the Medusa. Medusa is going to get back to the fountain in time here. Iceberg wait for V-Tune to come back up and finish off. I guess they can go top lane if they want.
Why not? V-Tune is unkillable.
Yeah.
If he just dances in those fights, he'll live, but he just knows, like, he can just commit, he'll die, reset. Nefrit has to just buy something with the gold that he did get. He gets a Maelstrom. Might be able to help him a little bit, but without a BKB, he gets committed on immediately by V-Tune. And it's still not up. For 1 more second.
All right, there goes the BKB, but he's kind of out of mana here, and he's not doing the most damage to V-Tune, so it's going to have to reset back up. Exorcism's now up. Iceberg wants to make this push happen a little bit faster. They are either going to have to go for tier 4s or push out that bottom lane as the tier 2 is still up. So Extremum still holding out hope they can deal with this.
And now Nefrit's probably feeling pretty bad that he purchased the Maelstrom, because now there's no way he gets the Rapier in any hopes. As Navi can just, now swing, just clean up the game.
Yeah, we haven't even seen level 25 on the Phantom Lancer where you can get that Doppelganger cooldown. It goes down to 6 seconds, so then, as you said, he can survive through anything as long as he's just able to keep dancing around.
And he finds an illusion escape as well. He's trying to find it amongst all the illusions, but, you know, insult to injury, why not?
Yeah. Does the illusion escape? Did it not throw the spear?
I think I saw the same thing, right? That was
yeah.
Weird. Maybe it doesn't.
Did the Manta illusions throw the spear, right?
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I saw something crazy. Maybe you did. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye, and I'm sure we'll see it again.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh God, I missed it. Can we scroll back? Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Throws the spear. Oh no, it did. It made an animation. I don't think it threw a spear though.
No, it did the arm movement.
Yeah.
That's okay. Interesting.
Thank you, production. Learned something new
Roger.
here as we kind of wait for Extremum to make their last stand.
Roger just rolled into the side of the map like 4 times. Just stayed in the same position.
Well, is he trying to get up and over the wall, or is he just having some fun?
I couldn't tell, honestly. It looked like he was just memeing.
Well, Extremum's got to make the first move here. Flicker.
They're going for the big combo.
Yeah, the big combo. But Na'Vi is very disciplined. They say, Extremum, you took that first game, but even here in a 4 versus 5, we're going to respect you enough to make sure we do not group up for that big combo. Now the Death Prophet's going to start showing himself. See if they get the opportunity. Static Storm does manage to catch the Nyx Assassin, so there's going to be no Impale here. Iceberg goes for the Exorcism, starts salting the back line. Well, Nefer burned out of his mana. There goes the Black Hole out from General. Managed to catch the Void Spirit, the Overgrowth to be able to stop it with the Meteor Hammer from behind, but V2 managed to jump over the Doppelganger, and Extremum will call GG. We are going to a Game 3. Something that I feel like we kind of knew for the last 15 minutes or so, but made it a whole lot more inevitable with that unfortunate disconnect.
Yeah, much more disciplined gameplay coming around from Na'Vi this time around, and Extremum, they didn't have this big team fight coming in. Like the Darkseer, he had some decent vacuum combos, but I felt like this one, you don't have like this Mars who's just, you're plopping down the area where you're going to dominate the fight. This one just, it's too hard. It's very hit or miss when they're going to land the spells. The Nyx Impale, when they did land it with like the vacuum, it looked good in the mid lane, but as game progresses, PL becomes a monster, and your combos are just, they're not reliable.
Fog, one last word real quick. What do you think was the biggest difference maker? Difference in draft or difference in play from Na'Vi?
I have to say both, but it would be definitely a difference in play. I mean,
okay.
General's entire, like the positioning of how he was moving was, like you said, he just wasn't he wasn't acting as this frontline, like dominating area guy. He was actually playing the role that I felt like he should have in the last game too.
All right, well, I think this is like the second series in CIS that's going to go to a Game 3, so our panel has a lot to break down.
Indeed. And with Fog saying a difference in play, sounded like maybe Mag had a stern talking to with the team. We're going to break down the second game of the series as we prepare for the third one after this.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams out lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of faces, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different.
Yeah. Ay, push start, ayy. Ball so hard, ayy. Raise the bar, ayy. Turn into a star, ayy. Play my part, yeah. I aim too far. I do it big. I keep it large, okay. Live it up. Cause it's fake, better give it up.
It was, of course, very unfortunate that Chavash couldn't reconnect back in the final 5 minutes of that game. But let's be real, the game was starting to look to be over anyway before that, because comparative to game 1, this second game Na'Vi felt more on point. They did not allow Extremum to get away with a lot of things, and Extremum could just not play the same game as they did before, with the Nephrit Medusa this time getting caught out without proper backup, dying without help. It looks very sad, actually. Whereas teams also just run off and yeah, forcing them out to a third game. We're gonna have third game of the series. This is actually the third series in CIS that goes to a third game. I know, math is hard, but that's because we've had fairly one-sided ordeals so far, and I'm actually super excited to see it go to game 3, because it means that the playing field is more even than we thought, Kyle.
Indeed, I think that well, first off, true disconnection is quite unfortunate. They were probably out of it, but it was tough. Where's the rapier? That's the whole point of the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, BKB second item. It's like you're throwing in the towel.
It's a completely different game though with the Medusa. Like, there isn't that ability to instantly go to Roshan. You don't have that security, that ability to go aggressive. And then you realize that PL, top net worth, 10k, you're 8k on Medusa. Like, you can't ever buy this rapier without that kind of security of the Aegis to then fight into Enigma and what they have. So it is a really hard game for them to actually kind of push what they have into them. So they're just farming. I think there was, at one moment, it was damage, gold earned by kills and assists. PL had like 2.2k. Medusa had like sub 500. Like, it's the reflection of the carries in this game.
Yeah, the V2 PL is pretty nasty.
Yeah,
comparison to the AM, you just feel his game impact. Like, even buying a hood first, it's like, huh, you're killing things. You're involved in the game. You're hitting towers. Meanwhile, that dive that we saw in the first game, Purged broke down. AM's just like farming jungle. Like, PL can actually play Dota and pressure.
He can actually help his team. I also felt Iceberg had a bigger impact on the Death Prophet than what he did as a silencer. It worked out. They were able to take towers faster as well, and it felt more clean I think that's the way I would describe it.
Yeah, they just didn't try and do anything too crazy like in the first game. They weren't like overplaying their hand. Like you have a lot of team fight, you want to show it. You want to make the big plays. They didn't need to do that. And probably this tree was actually really obnoxious when he was actually in the game because, top tower, they had the Necro book. They kept it alive for like 6 additional minutes. It allowed them to not really make any crazy plays because they had to slowly break down this map. And then eventually, minute 14 going onwards, 18, you then get these big plays, DPs diving tier 2s. Could have died, but didn't. And then at that point, that's when Na'Vi kind of flipped the page and it's like, well, we're going to own this game now.
The bottom lane went really well, just didn't matter. They only killed Disruptor.
Yeah, indeed. I'm also curious, what point did Purge pick out from the second game?
I have so many nuggets, Shiva, actually. In draft, we were a little confused about a couple things. Enigma being picked up here was a little surprising because there were some sayings like, hey, Beastmaster maybe does this a little bit better, does some things better. And based on how the first game went, maybe that did look a little bit iffy. But I think the rest of the Na'Vi lineup was basically just perfect for what they wanted to do in this game. The crucial thing, first of all, Enigma has way more damage in the first couple of levels. They were able to kill Medusa twice here in the laning stage. Part of that was because there was a Nyx Assassin and not a different support. They didn't necessarily know who the 5 was going to be, but you really saw the damage output. Put Medusa off to a bad start compared to the previous game. So that was one really cool thing about having Enigma versus somebody like a Beastmaster. But another cool thing about the draft was actually the Disruptor pick. We barely touched on it during the panel, but it was picked before they saw any of these other 3 heroes. But what it crucially allowed them was that it gave their core space to be able to basically pick more flexible, because now they have Earth Spirit for initiation and they have Disruptor for initiation or counter initiation, basically. So the 5 position can be the tempo setting hero rather than having to rely on a Earth Spirit, like a Void Spirit, Ember Spirit type initiator. So instead they get to pick Death Prophet up, which allows them to fill other gaps in their draft. So with the power of the Disruptor, even though at times Enigma would be pressured, they can always react to these fights and guarantee kills. That was really crucial. Here was probably the most impactful one, despite Always Wanna Fly having a really rough laning stage because of the dual lane. They get that kill, they smoke, and then they initiate and kill the Medusa. That's setting tempo and giving initiation and also some crucial lockdown that most other supports don't end up having. Another really crucial thing that Na'Vi did with the Necro through, they moved into the jungle, they dewarded Observer Wards consistently using the Necro. This fight didn't go so very well for them, but here's an example of that. Moving into the jungle, bringing the Necro in, they kill Observer Wards, and then just look at the map here for Extremum. They have literally zero control here, and it just gave Na'Vi a lot more opportunity to be aggressive. They won a tier 2 team fight here, this allowed them to take the tier 1, and from then on, they just had a PL that got to have these favorable core matchups, forcing Medusa's BKB, her ulti, and then they also had Disruptor once again to pull back into team fights. So it just became almost impossible for Extremum to win this match because Na'Vi had such control and they had so much ability to pick fights when they wanted to on their ground.
Thank you, Purge. A lot of nuggets to take from that game, and I'm also curious what Extremum takes from that game, because we saw 2 fairly similar strategies, both games around coming out from Extremum. Obviously, the first time it worked, then Na'Vi adjusted, and then it didn't work. So now we're going to have to see Extremum go back to the drawing board for this third game. Now that we've seen both teams win once, Tigov, how are you feeling about this third game?
I'm trying to think about this Medusa for them, and are they able to confidently slot it into that first phase kind of pick? Yeah. Maybe if they're second pick and they can then cover it with some bans, that could be a play, but I don't know. It's a good strategy. It worked game 1. But after game 1, you can kind of feel why Na'Vi lost the game and why Medusa won. And it really showcased in game 2. You have the better lanes, you close out the jungle, you then apply that pressure, and suddenly Medusa never comes online. It's a hard carry matchup as well. So maybe not Medusa for game 3. I'd like to see them have some creativity in draft for sure.
Something different.
And a stronger laner for G. I understand the next pick, you're trying to protect your Dusa, but you could see the difference. It's literally the same lane. But Dusa Death Prophet was very effective. Meanwhile, you're dying twice on the Dusa. As soon as Dusa has a second time laning phase, it's pretty much nail in the coffin in a way. You're now, as Na'Vi, a mistake or 2 ahead. You can feed once, you can take some bad engagement, and you're actually still going to be just fine because your PL is going to have such an edge in comparison, and that was reflected in the net worth as we approach the mid-game.
I don't know if both of you feel the same way, but going into this, I thought Na'Vi was going to take this fairly easily. Them losing a game and then winning a game, credit to them for winning that second game. Obviously, don't want to take anything away from that, but it does give me more doubts for them being on top of the food chain, because I kind of feel like with that loss VP is looking just another step ahead of this. I thought Na'Vi and VP were fairly similar skill level. I think I was just straight up wrong. And you're laughing at that, Kyle.
Well,
why?
because there's like a saying, you know, everything somebody says before a but doesn't mean anything. And she even using them like all the last 2 weeks. It's like, well, I think this team has a lot of potential. But they played like garbage. And like it's just like, Jesus.
That's definitely the language I would use, absolutely.
Well, off camera, you're much more truthful.
Yeah,
it's
disgusting.
Unbelievable. I've gotten She's coffee like all week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, otherwise she whips me.
Okay. So, anyways, whipping aside.
First of all, I am the one that makes the coffee.
Don't hurt me. I'm sorry.
This is why I'm here.
I got it in between.
Thank
today.
you, T-Gov.
Please. No, but anyway, to your question. Yeah. Oh, yes. That is my Smurf. No, joking. Don't have a Smurf. But anyway, you said about Na'Vi VP. That's the important thing here, not your desires. I think once you bring CIS to its own region, away from the Europe, I think you have to give VP the edge over Na'Vi, and I don't think they're as close as maybe it's easy to say just because they are the top two. But the gap between 1 and 2 is very large. Like VP, they are like contenders to being like top 10 or top 5, top 6 in the world. I think Na'Vi, they are very much a very strong team, but they aren't on that caliber. So I think we're just kind of, if anything, we're showing that maybe the middle pack of CIS is closer to Na'Vi, if anything. So we're opening up the group, if anything, more for everyone else to compete for that spot.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was a rapier Dusa. We'll see what happens.
I'm saying it's an option. I'm just keeping everything open, Kyle.
I think the gap is smaller than you guys are giving it credit.
Really?
It's not like a tier 1, tier 2, and everybody else. It's tier 1, tier 1.5.
The half counts for a lot. The half is quite substantial.
I think there's a quite tangible gap.
I think, okay,
Go on. Here we go, but
not the tangible gap again, please, God.
Sorry. I have no idea what's happening. I'm the new guy.
Don't want to get into it.
No one else does, Carl. No. Really, no one wants to get into this. It's just you continuing this conversation. Yeah, we know.
What would you say about like EU teams, right? So obviously, like Secret is tier 1. Liquid, are they tier 1? Are they tier 1.5?
I think you separate Europe to being Secret is tier 1, and then OG Nigma, Liquid all 1.5, chasing for that dream. And then tier 2 would be like Alliance and the
question, because Secret is actually S tier. And then
we're breaking the tier system of Kyle.
Curveball.
Here we go.
Yeah, I do want to point out that we are slightly going off track here because there is a little bit of a delay. We have a technical difficulty on the side of Extremum. And obviously we and they and Navi are hoping that they are going to get that fixed because there's a player at the moment switching PCs. They have a certain amount of time to do it in. So there's a clock ticking somewhere as well. There is also going to be a clock ticking on your screen very soon because we are heading to a break. Hopefully, we'll be back fairly soon with the draft for this third game to the series. But just so you are aware, it could take a little bit longer if the technical difficulties aren't sorted.
All right, I'll go grab your coffee right now, Sheaves. I'll get right on that. I'm sorry again.
Please, do it with the oat milk this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
2 sugars.
No sugar!
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Seriously, he's been grabbing me coffee all week. Can't keep the order straight. No. We'll see you after a break, hopefully very soon, in a little bit.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
seen a lot of danger, and it's all in your name. So don't just cough it up and throw it out and wash away. I wish they wouldn't take you, so please take me. I already know what it's like to let you go. I see your ghost, so what if I was capable?
Really think this coffee should have been hot. Oh, we're live. Hey, welcome back. We have Na'Vi versus in Game 3 coming your way, and the draft is actually live. So we're ready to start this third and final and decider game of the series. We are once again joined by Purge on the big screen. I'm here with Kyle and T-Gov, and a bit better on the coffee next. This is like lukewarm.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't have enough time to get it in the microwave.
Microwaved coffee.
Oof.
Oof, indeed. Let's see what happens in the draft, and if we are going to have some oofs there too, because we don't want to have those. But we're not there yet. Soon. I was getting too far ahead of myself.
Yeah. There's still a tangible gap between now and the game starting.
You can't force it like that. It has to come natural.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Kev, how are you doing?
It's good. I feel bad I didn't go. I could have talked on my segment for like an extra minute and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Now I regret it.
Yeah, Kev, I think the fans at home, they love your content. You should probably, make them longer. In fact, I would think we'd be happy to give you an entire segment if you wanted to take up all that
He is
screen
taking
time.
a segment. It's literally the drawing board. That's his segment.
No, but I mean, like, we can just throw to him right away after the game.
So you're saying you're willing to cut out your small talk for
I mean, to be fair, we really don't need Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's be gracious. We're sort of commandeering most of the exposure. I think, Purge would appreciate getting more airtime.
Excuse me. I think
That's more I'm good.
The exposure is mostly taken by our commentators, and rightfully so, who wants to listen to us waffle about. We got Na'Vi on the Radiant side again, Extreme on the Dire side again. And in terms of bans, we have Bad Rider banned again, Chen banned again, and this time, actually, Extreme and follow up with the IO ban that we have not seen banned nor picked the entire series, and then now credit the first phase ban to.
Yeah, so basically this allows for Phoenix, Mars, and Nyx all to be opened up for first pick potentially. Mars getting banned, so it's now Phoenix or Nyx if they want to go down that route.
Fox incoming.
Fox?
Fox. Dumbledore's Phoenix?
Oh.
Come on, dude.
Sorry,
You're from the UK.
I was here to talk about Dota, Carl.
God, that's embarrassing. Yeah, Phoenix.
A lot of different words, to be honest.
I like Phoenix a lot here because it's also back in the day, Nyx was considered good against the Phoenix when it was played mostly around the Sunray. If you remember the days of the OG 114. Whereas now, I really like Phoenix. Nyx has no attack speed. As long as you get the egg off, you're going to feel good. And it's very nice counter initiation. And also, Always Wanna Fly is absolute best hero.
Yeah, that's great, but it's on the side of Extreme.
Oh, Jesus.
I thought I'd let that one air for a little bit. I really wanted it to sit quiet. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you,
I can't
Bieber.
see the team names from here. I
Dude,
need glasses.
You've got
you guys
a big
left me
screen right here. We made
It hurts
sure.
my neck if I have to look down the whole time.
Oh, then you are also not wired up. You can walk right up to that screen, stand in
All
front
right,
of it. You do
fine. I
not
wanted
have
to
any
be closer to you guys.
excuses.
Be gone now, Kyle. Shoo.
We do have another Enigma coming out from Na'Vi. They do truly believe in the general Enigma here. And, yeah, any other, like, Void Spirit picked up a little earlier, but I'm not opposed to that. Are you okay with this opening, Purge?
Yeah, I like. I think it's cool how confident they are with the Enigma. Like the laning goes pretty darn well, and then the map control that they get by they did this consistently last game. They would just pop necros, they'd go deward a general area, and just give themselves a vision and therefore map control advantage. I thought that was really cool to see them do it again. With that said, though, it definitely seemed vulnerable at a couple crucial moments in the the 8 to 12 minute mark, and Void Spirit is perfect for that because if Enigma's out of position, you jump on them, you do a ton of damage, and you don't really care about like Eidolon damage and response because you've got a shield. So I think Void Spirit's a good response there and something they could exploit in that like Necro before he gets his next item time period.
One thing to, by the way, keep in mind, because the draft did start a little bit later, Extremum did get a draft penalty, which probably a lot of people already noticed. They have 40 seconds less in their bonus time.
That's all right. Could be worse.
Could have no bonus time.
Could have no bonus time. True.
Wasn't that what happened to, well, it's not really funny, I suppose, but VG Thunder, now Quincy Crew at that TI?
Oh, yeah.
They had no bonus time?
Yeah, they had some, I don't know the exact reason why, but they had no bonus time for a draft, which is very annoying, for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to draft.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing bullet chess. The other guy's got 15 minutes to move. I will say, once again, obviously, Na'Vi are comfortable with the Enigma, but I hated into Phoenix. It's another one of the rare heroes that has the ability to enter a black hole even through BKB. And if an egg is down, that you don't want a black hole in the middle of a Phoenix egg. That just doesn't feel good.
But the key thing here is if you look at just the draft itself, Na'Vi has not kind of moved away from their philosophy of their draft. You know, this strong pos 4 into Enigma 3. They'll open up the second phase most likely with that 5 pick. Maybe it could flex with the Knicks in some capacity. But like Na'Vi is clearly coming into the series just with this is how we draft, this is how we play. You can pick different heroes, but we're still going to do our strategy. And they might have fought it in game 1, but they kind of fixed it going into game 2. And that's why we are seeing game 3. They aren't, again, changing that kind of strategy. They are keeping it, even though it's a different 4 position, it's the same idea of the draft.
I think it's definitely worth them taking the Medusa out, though, because Extremum clearly very confident in it, and it still makes black holing a lot harder. So get it out of there. I think it's completely reasonable.
I like the Alchemist ban, too, because I actually think that based on the way these games have been playing out, when you consider the way Extremum won that first game was tempo. It was the same concept, but they had this ability to just go, and Alch, that's the gameplay for that. Medusa kind of requires these perfect timings. You need to kind of all in with the rapier purchase, whereas an Alchemist, naturally, you have this Battle Fury or Radiance, BKB AC, 20 minutes, you go. And Disruptor again for AWF.
Yep. They just respect, they value more seeing 3 heroes, picking strong carry, but with stable lanes, and then giving Iceberg this like strong mid that he should have a good game on. It didn't really work out, of course, again in game 1, like we said, but you can see how this kind of draft style really pushes forward. And it's interesting as well for Na'Vi. They have this Nyx, and then Extreme also picked the Void Spirit into it. So there will be points in the mid game where this Nyx will just be able to always find this Void Spirit and get that free pick off, carapacing off the damage and then stunning him up and then turning the kill around with Disruptor or the Enigma.
And T, you were the one saying that Extremum really likes for Nefrit to have like one of the big carries like Medusa, Alchemist. You said Bristleback as the third?
Yeah, that is for sure potential option. Kotl was actually not even touched within this in the bans.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we could maybe see a like casual Kotl Na'Vi get pressured into some type of potential Bristle counter, and then you just casually go for that. That could be an option for Extremum, but for sure, I think having a hero that can play around that aggression, play around the kind of slow nature is good. Ooh, they go for a Grim.
Iceberg Doom.
Iceberg Doom.
Iceberg
Oh,
Doom.
it's so good against Void Spirit. And it's so nice with an Enigma Disruptor. If you remember...
Rifking, of course, yeah, Rifking.
Yeah, in the past, Doom Disruptor was one of the best openings because the heroes naturally fit together so well. Doom, you're walking in. Disruptor doesn't want to be ran at, and getting through a Doom is very difficult. To makes the Enigma a lot easier to play, too.
What Extremum has in a fight, if you look at the big team fight, it's Black Extremum are kind of just single target running around, playing for that soul bar. It gives them that entry into the game. They play around a hero. And now you have last pick as well.
And you have Nyx Disruptor, so you effectively have 2 big cancels. If you get somebody in the field, you get somebody else doomed. Like that's that. And the Wraith King makes sense just because obviously you can live through one, reincarnate. It's one of the better heroes against Doom as well, and to take advantage of his low armor.
They're going to have Void Spirit to be able to dive fights, but like other than that, the Enigma like Eidolons plus Necro summons make it so hard for Extremum to like even poke past, it feels like. So that's why Disruptor ends up being so effective, in my opinion. It just makes it, if Na'Vi area controls the map and stands in good positions, it just becomes so much more difficult for Extremum to go in.
Yep. The support duo is effectively just going to generate more kills per minute on average than the Extremum supports. It's the big benefit of Disruptor Nyx. You don't push waves necessarily. You're not like great at pushing, but by just existing, you will be able to abuse any enemies caught out of position. Pretty much better than, I would say, any other 2 supports in Dota.
I kind of like for Extremum, maybe they go for like a Pangolier last pick. because they don't have ultimate last pick in the draft. I think they should be scared potentially about these illusion heroes, being able to play behind the aggression of what a Doom provides in a lineup, especially with like FaZe, Drum, BKB, and then Shivas. So I think some more tempo and laning presence could be cool. And I look at what combos Extreme have run with Phoenix, and the bans are pretty much tailored to Phoenix. You're not going to have a good laning partner. So I think at least Pangolier covers you on the illusions, gives you a potent lane, and applies some type of pressure and some pacing in the game that Extreme needs for sure.
Could you offlane the Void Spirit? Pick a mid?
You can, I think, but that's where in this position in draft you need to keep. You either go for a hero that can flex with Void Spirit, or you pick with utter confidence a hero that can just go mid without any counter. And
is Grim mid an option? I don't know if Melojul plays it at all, and I don't know how it does against Doom.
It's probably not bad against Doom, but Doom will probably still farm a lot, I'm guessing. And once he hits like 6, Grimstroke just dies, surely.
Oh, okay. So they actually opt for the, you have team fight, but we have Uber. So if you drop a Black Horror or Doom, we will just reset the fight entirely and just play off the cooldown. So yeah, I actually like the idea of Underlord as well.
Yeah, it's a really beefy lineup now. And
it covers you from the illusions as well, like I mentioned. So
helps them defend towers a lot too. That's one thing they're missing from this draft compared to last game with the tree. So they can definitely clear out Enigma summons without too much difficulty, and that'll make taking fights a little easier.
And this is where turning up on time allows you to have more reserve time. Na'Vi now have plenty of time to think about their last pick.
And most likely we're looking for a V-Tune hero. We have his anti-mage and his Slark banned out in the last ban phase from Extremum. Anything still in the pool
gone,
that,
gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of carries that are gone.
I don't know if Lifestealer is ever a hero, but it could be in this spot, just because you eat these strength heroes for breakfast.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say eat. Like, yeah, you can lifesteal, but you don't do that much damage. Is the problem.
The question is if they respect the Underlord for what it brings to the game, because they still can go for the PL type hero. It might have a hard lane, but in the game you're going to have a perfectly fine time once you hit that kind of 2 or 3 item period. So they could easily, I could see them just still going for the PL. I'll go for more.
I think it is.
It's banned last game, so they get it this one.
I mean, their draft just scales so well, and V-Tune's Morphling is very, very strong. I like it.
There is a lack of killing potential Morphling going into the later portion of the game. Early on, maybe you can find him out of position, but for sure, it is going to be a very hard to kill, like 30-minute plus Morphling game once he gets there.
All right, final thoughts from Purge?
I just feel like Na'Vi feels very in control with their draft. They're very confident with what they're picking, so I have confidence in Morphling being able to have an okay laning stage and then hit it like a really strong mid-game timing against their opponents.
All right, thank you very much. We'll come back to you after the game, deciding game, Kyle.
Not all the way. This is their comfort zone. Obviously, General's confident on the Enigma. I haven't seen Iceberg Doom lose a game. And Morph, I mean, Wraith King is kind of like the Sven of last patch, but in this patch, Morph is just so good if you stay even in net worth against it. They don't have too much kill potential for him. I think V-Tune takes this one home for his boys.
Yeah, I kind of find it hard for Wraith King to play out like the script of the game, which is like he plays lane, he goes jungle, farms Radiance, comes out. Where you have Enigma with Necrobook, he'll take your tower, he'll occupy your jungle.
Yep.
Doom with FaZe Drum, he'll be running into your map anyway. So I don't know if there's enough room to get this Wraith King online. And when he is online, does he ever do enough damage to kill the Morphling? They really need to like crush lanes and roll it.
Easier for Na'Vi to take towers and then invest that gold into further advantage because they just get these cheaper build-up items naturally in their progression.
All right, a lot of question marks on whether Extremum can take this one home, or maybe Na'Vi will take this 2-1. Only one way to find out. We're gonna see it played out together with Cap and Fogged.
Kyle says that he's never seen Iceberg lose on a Doom game, and for good reason. That man has a 72% win rate on the Doom. Specialty hero for him. Fogged, is it going to be enough to put Na'Vi over the line?
Looks real strong again, and it really seems like they're trying to force the issue of this Enigma super hard. Like, they could have gone for other options, but they really want General to keep playing this. Maybe they have something that they want to continue working on with their team around the Enigma, or they just feel like it's really that strong. And it does look quite strong. Their lineup scales really hard. I do see some nice stuff for Extremum as well. They do have a good way of fighting frequently, which I think is going to be one of the most important things. I think Melojul kind of has to step his game up super hard this time and just pretty much play around those cooldowns, because that is one thing I do see from Na'Vi. They do rely on those a lot. But I think this early game is so important. Extremum, if they start falling behind even like 10 minutes or so, I'm going to be really concerned for them because the flash farming that Na'Vi has and their scale potential with these 3 cores is ridiculous.
So why do you think that they value this Enigma so much for General over, say, like the Beastmaster that they could have gotten last game? Because they do occupy a very similar space. What's the difference between the two?
I think it's just, it gives the freedom for Roger to do what he wants, whatever the hell he wants to do in the game, because he can just, like you said, he's the most self-sufficient offlaner in the game, this Enigma. He's just going to be able to reset lane position. He'll always get something, as long as they're not like tri-lane diving the hell out of him and just not doing like some like very smart big play. General is going to get something, and Roger can make moves. He can check runes. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I like that. That was my thought as well, that it was just kind of like more about the laning phase than it was about Black Hole versus Primal Roar. It just seems like Enigma, you really just can't pressure this hero. And I'm seeing G. I'm watching G as a 5 position, and I'm just like, I really, you know, for the first level of Eidolons, maybe you feel like you can kill some stuff, but other than that, you just don't have a whole lot to do when it comes to laning phase against an Enigma.
No, and once the levels do start to kick off, Eidolon, I say this every single time with Wraith King, but you have low armor. You know, Eidolons, they can start to pack an annoying punch. Wraith King should be able to sustain fine because he's got that extra sustain with his lifesteal, but it could slip him up a little bit maybe.
Invasion here from Extremum. Roger's still going to try and sneak the bounty rune, and he will grab it. 2 for 2 split as a result.
Wonder what build we get to see V-Tune go for as well. I've seen him doing his Yules build quite a lot, especially when he's playing versus like annoying silences. Maybe this would be one of those games. Maybe he just goes for more standard items, but could see him definitely going for that as top. This is a good move here. Just trip up the Enigma right at the start. Play behind the lane on those Eidolons.
Oh, hey, Courier.
Oh, and look.
Hey, thanks, Roger.
Oh, and he doesn't get this. He got the sentry delivered right as it died.
Okay.
That looked like it wasn't in range. What the?
Well, it does mean that Nefrit misses out on 1 whole CS. Didn't even get the experience for that. And then his range creep just got denied, so he's not going to be super happy. It was a nice idea if they could actually get first blood, but we'll see. General's already taken a lot of damage for sure as they go again on him.
They at least have a very kill-threatening lane with the Grimstroke, an actual 5 position, unlike last time where they had Nyx and Dusa. There's just no way for them to set up kills or actually punch back in the lane. This one, if a General steps up and misplays at all, he's a kill. Same thing for Roger. So there's a much stronger lane in that.
A bottom lane matchup, Shochlo and Chu, as the Underlord and Phoenix are up against Always Wanna Fly on the Disruptor and V-Tune on the Morphling. V-Tune.
Free lane for V-Tune.
Yeah.
Should just be able to blast it perfectly under this. Sure, the atrophy is a little annoying, but yeah, the Morphling is like the perfect pick to deal with this lane. I think it's just like T-Gov was saying on the panel. They picked this Underlord to cover because they probably were like, oh god, you know, we banned Slark, the PL is still available, it's V-Tune, and they set themselves up. So yeah, V-Tune knows what matchup he wants to play there.
Is there so it sounds like to me you're pro. Chu. He's going to be caught. He's not level 2. This is the time to pressure a Phoenix, and this is the time to get first blood for your carry.
Already has the Morbid Mask coming out. It's going to be coming out on his courier at the 2-minute mark. So the harassment that comes up from Shochlo is going to be completely stopped when he does get that brought out. And Shochlo even has to be very careful how far he steps up.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, it seems like to me you feel like the pressure is kind of on Extremum, just because it seems like Na'Vi have drafted themselves into a winning position for this Game 3.
They have to set the pace of the game. Like I was mentioning earlier, if it hits 10 minutes and I feel like Na'Vi's the ones who's just determining every single one of the fights and just making all the first moves and just being able to sit back and farm, Extremum is just going to fall further and further and further behind very quickly in this game. It's a greedy lineup that Na'Vi does have with this Doom, Enigma, like all these heroes farm so much. And if they're able to sit back and farm, it's just, yeah.
So in which case, this mid lane matchup is going to be really important because that's going to be one of our primary... Oh, nice snipe there, Chu. He's going to force out the Fairy Fire. Oh, he's going to go for the dive, you madman! Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't get the kill, so just cops a lot of damage for nothing. But yeah, as I was saying,
This matchup, mid matchup, the Void Spirit versus the Doom. We need Melojoul to really take from this lane everything he can and then just start, as you said, make some things happen around the map.
Yeah, he has to be unbelievably active to take advantage of the greed that Na'Vi has that's going to start kicking off very quickly. And it's going to be like that also in the mid game. He just has to take advantage of when those cooldowns get used, you know, the Dooms, the Black Holes. He has to be very perfect with his movement. And he was doing really well at pressuring the Doom at the start, but Iceberg, he found the creep. You know, either the Ice Armor or the Alpha Wolf pretty much just wins you the lane. Can't actually get harassed at all.
Melojoul.
Poor Melojoul.
Kind of missing up the remnant there. Oh. Not only just dying, but the Firestorm going off as a result is probably going to get all of those creeps denied.
Oh, man.
Morphling just destroying this lane now.
All 3 lanes, really. Look at top even, too. Like, they can't actually deal with the Eidolons. It's pressuring Nefrit. He's gone the Chainmail, as we've seen a lot, first item on these Wraith Kings. But either way, he just gets stunned, and the harassment it's a lot for him to deal with. The Grimstroke can't actually help, because the Nyx is still in the area. Yeah, I mean, V-Tune is just... It was the pick of the litter, right? He got to pick his carry hero last into seeing everything.
Chu barely staying alive there from that last Thunderstrike hit. Roger just kind of free to do whatever he wants. Run around the map, making this top lane even worse. Chu, he does have a stick. He'll pop it just to make sure he's good, which he is. But it means he's not out there in order to get the 5-minute bounty runes, which I'm pretty sure is what Always Wanna Fly was really looking for there. Is you kick one of the supports out, you kind of guarantee yourself one of these bounties.
They're going to get themselves 3 also. After already winning the lanes in the first 5 minutes, they're probably going to get the 3 bounties too. And there's no way that they can apply pressure in the middle or the bottom lane at the moment. Top lane, they can still look to maybe get some kills on General if he steps up too far, but I mean, bottom and mid is just, it's a wash now. There's no way that Extremum can slow these 2 down. Morphling just way too good of a start here.
Oh, jeez. They tried to get aggressive on General. G coming in. Just going to try and run a little interference, but now he's going to be in some big-time trouble as he's going to go for the TP out. Bottom lane, they do manage to get the kill on Always Wanna Fly. 2 of them group up and bully that Disruptor, but still, it's the lane still not looking good for Extremum whatsoever. They're going to need... Is V-Tune gonna get it?
He's just gonna commit.
Yeah.
He's got 300 HP, but he's got the Morbid Mass, so he can just hit them and heal up with this huge amount of armor. Shosh, though, might actually just die to right-click in a waveform.
Does he have anything? Does he have a Fairy Fire or something? Okay, he gets out of range. Chu, though, he's pretty slow. He's got a dive coming up. Either way, I mean, V-Tune's missing out on very little CS. Doom on the mid lane here. Always Wanna Fly with the Thunderstrike, but not close enough to get the kinetic field. And he doesn't have Glimpse leveled up, which is pretty common for most Disruptors, as that second level of Thunderstrike adds a lot. Now they're going to go on Always Wanna Fly here with the Doom no longer being up. Melojoul feels pretty confident just being able to dive in, and he's right. He didn't have to really worry about any nukes coming out, so nice kill.
But V-Tune pushed 2 heroes out of his lane. Level 6, they can't go down here anymore. Free farm Morphling, free farm Doom, free farm Enigma. Uh-oh. They got to make something happen at least now when the Doom is on cooldown. I want to see them pair up Melojoul and G. Both of these 2 have to start hunting. Have to at least do something on the map.
Yeah.
This Morphling is just going to get too much base, and it's such a good Morphling game. It's gonna pick up the pace really quickly for him when he starts to look to get involved.
Anytime I see a lineup that looks just a tad bit greedy, it's always, for me anyway, about how well those lanes going to go. Because the greediest lineup in the world can work if you win all 3 lanes. And that's kind of exactly what Na'Vi has done here. You can see the net worth, they are way far out and ahead with the Morphling and the Doom when it comes to net worth. And even the Enigma is ahead of the Void Spirit. So...
And it is such greedy heroes is really the important thing. All 3 cars are some of the most greedy that you can pick. The Doom he's different because you can't actually punish his greed. It's just gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about Devour. Enigma sometimes you can shut down, but he's always gonna naturally be able to make money off of his conversions. Morphling too sometimes takes time to ramp up, but when he gets a Morbid Mask at the 3-minute mark and he's able to just command his own lane and everything, yeah, it just changes the entire state of the game.
Oof. Regen, that'll certainly help. But what can he do with it? I mean, I kind of feel like... I mean, I guess you don't have ultimates, on the supports on the side of Extremum, so he can't reliably like go and just solo kill a Morphling. That's not going to happen. He's got to wait until his supports get a little bit stronger. But
I don't think they're ever going to kill this Morphling in this game. It's going to be really difficult for them to ever set up on him with this type of lead. Especially because now Iceberg, like he's got his drum, I think, finished up. He's going to start just running down these lanes and just looking to constantly throw Doom on anyone who shows and just look like immediately Melojul stacks up and he threatens the Doom.
Yeah. I love, this is one of my favorite combos with Disruptor. Disruptor Night Stalker is a good one when Night Stalker's meta, but Disruptor Doom, just a great way to make sure that, okay, you can force a team fight. The person you Doom can't run away. He's going to get glimpsed back into the fight, so he's definitely going to die. And Doom, even without his ultimate, is just a great frontlining hero to kind of run at people and force them to run away from you, which Disruptor loves. Disruptor takes full advantage of that.
Yep. So let's see. G, he has a point in the silence and he has Melojul paired with him. I think a smoke into getting a ward down just to watch. If they can get a wraparound on V-Tune, they get the silence from the tree lines. They have potential to maybe get him, but
he just barely missed out on that ward being placed due to nighttime. Always want to fly. Snuck one up there in the triangle. He is potentially going to be found and killed here, but they do have the Doom up, so Melojul's got to be a little bit careful here. As, okay, the Phoenix, nice body blocking. If he could just body block a little bit more, V-Tune might be able to catch him here. They do have the Sun Ray healing him up bit by bit, but it's looking pretty rough out here. As nice deny. G. Well timed with the last hits. That's why that man still holds the current record for last hits in a single game. That kind of timing, baby.
As top general easily kills Toshlo by himself with the Black Hole commit.
I love that damage breakdown where just Malphus just stunned.
Poor man.
Yeah.
4K lead. Ults are down, so this is, again, I have to see Extremum pair up. G and Melojul, they got to get together and look to make something. They got to look together and take advantage of something, because this is just, it's 5K lead already. It's getting out of control already.
This man's taking your ancient stacks.
And he's already getting toward his, he is going to go for a natural item build, just going to go for the Manta to deal with that one silence. And I mean, even then, even before that, he's like we said, he's pretty unkillable. They got to do something. They're just going to sit back and play a little bit of the farm game for Nefrit, but any of this downtime, Na'Vi they love it. This is perfect for him.
I'm going to assume that you agree with Nefrit's build here, that he doesn't have the time to build up any sort of Midas or Radiant shenanigans. He's just got to go straight damage, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. They have to weather the storm very soon or the game is just over. Honestly, this is getting out of hand way too fast. They have to start looking to fight. They cannot just sit back and let Na'Vi do whatever they want.
There's a reason
Shots making the move.
He's not TPing away from this because he knows his allies are making the rotation over. The sad part is they're getting a lot of kills on the side of Extremum, and all of them are on Always Wanna Fly. That's not the hero that you want to kill. Four kills, 4 deaths on Always Wanna Fly.
The man knows how to die.
Yeah.
Especially in a good situation, sacrificing his life for the team. They get a good ward down here. They're actually watching General. Maybe they can look to go for this aggressive dive forward. Melojul and G.
Okay.
Can't quite.
No, yeah, he's a little bit too far away. They'll go ahead and use the Dissimulate to clear out and get a little bit of gold from those.
He might get glimpsed.
Yeah, he doesn't have Dissimulate, so he is indeed going to get pulled back here. Malphus, before he can make it the jump away, and the Static Storm is there, sealing his fate. V-Tune picks up the kill. He gets that much farther ahead of everybody. Now he's 2,500 net worth ahead of the Wraith King at 12 minutes.
And they immediately take out that ward that was just placed, so vision gonna be constricted for Extremum. And Shoshlo is standing under a ward, so they're probably gonna just dive him up here, as I don't know if they can actually help him. Chu does not have a TP available, the Phoenix for that egg. Yeah, Na'Vi's just gonna chase him out. Shoshlo forced to Uber out.
Is he even gonna try and get off a Firestorm or anything? No, that's how scared he is. So he dies. Man, 6K this early. It's always like a good way to paint a picture is talking about, okay, the net worth difference, take this hero out of the equation, and that's how far ahead they are. But like, you can't even do that. You can't even 7K up. Nefrit's the most farmed on the side of Extremum, and he's at 4.7K. Like, No one hero even comes close to the lead that Na'Vi has right now.
They gotta slow something down. They're gathered up looking for some type of play here. Underlord is pushing out the hard lane. Let's see if they can actually get Iceberg.
All right, full commitment here to bring down the Doom, and they need every single hero I think they've got to be able to take down that tanky boy and make sure there's no rebuttal. Top lane, though, they are going to run at Shochlo. Shochlo, seeing those heroes, thought, okay, my team made a move. Maybe I can run up this high ground. He'd be wrong about that, but they can still make a team fight out of this. This is looking pretty hot right now with the Wraith King underneath this Static Storm. He doesn't give a damn. He's down to just sit there and whack on people, and all the better if he loses his first life. Slowing people down, making sure they catch even more heroes. We're going to watch Always Wanna Fly be forced to TP back. Good fight for Extremum, not bad.
Very nice. Just have to take advantage of whenever they do show in the lanes. And they do that immediately as Iceberg does show. They have a little bit of more of information up top. They make the quick jump with everybody and then just swing. Swing to fight. And that's the way it has to be for their lineup right now. Just have to constantly look for fights. Egg is going to be on cooldown for some time. But still, I think you have to just keep that pace going. Use this Ink Swell at its maximum with Mellow Jewel. He has a Haste Rune too, so he is enabled nicely.
Fox, how do you itemize this game to deal with a Morphling?
Ags on the Void Spirit. I have no idea what on the Wraith King. He has to just...
Okay.
I don't know. There's not really an item that one-to-one as a Wraith King versus a Morphling will solve your problems.
Yeah. We've got a Spirit Vessel being built up by the Phoenix, of course, but that's, you know, a ways away as we've talked about how underfarmed Extremum is.
He has a Manta as well, right? Manta treads with the mask, almost level 12. Like, he's prepared to counteract everything. Nefrit's he's got the blink queued up, so that can be nice. They can have that clear initiation, so Mellow Jewel doesn't have to just commit himself every time.
Hey,
and then he can eat the Doom.
Sneaking in some bounty runes, you sneaky boy. Gets 2 of them, gets away with the TP. Okay. Hey, every little bit helps.
Roger, stalking Mellow Jewel, so whenever they see Mellow Jewel, Mellow Jewel's
all right, Mellow Jewel
he's being stalked.
He definitely knows now. Silence goes out before the Spike Carapace could get there, so Roger he just dies like that.
Hey, these kills all matter. Now they can set up also for the push, and they are shrinking that lead slightly.
Man, if only somebody was around this Roshan pit, just to throw a little bit of damage in there and make Na'Vi go like, oh crap, they know, so we have to back up. Sadly, there's nothing there, so Na'Vi are kind of free to take this Roshan in exchange for the tier 1 tower.
And maybe that was Roger's plan after all, you know, make them go on him, make them commit for the tower, and there's no way they can make it up there to contest in time.
Yeah, could be.
Give his life for the cause.
Okay, Blink Dagger on the Wraith King. I mean, it doesn't really get much more fast-paced than that.
Yep, can jump into the back lines, can mess with the Disruptor and the Nyx. Just he can be the ones to start the fights and be that Ink Swell target so that Mellow Jewel can be more careful around playing around this Doom. Iceberg has a BKB too. Yeah, these two are just so farmed. 2 big cores on Na'Vi. They glyph the range creep also to finish up the tier 2. Dire glyphs as well. They're setting up TPs to the tier 3. They're actually looking for this fight here on Extremum.
Alright, well...
G's gonna take some time to get there though. G's very important for their fight.
Oh, yeah.
Roger is right on top of him.
And Roger is going to reveal his presence with a couple of presents for G. Couple of spells, he goes down. V-Tune with this Aegis, feeling like he can just push wherever he wants to. They're going to try and punish him here, see if they could somehow take away that Aegis without overcommitting. But they can't.
No. No chance to kill him until they have Ags on Void Spirit.
Yeah.
Once they have the Ags on Void Spirit, they can trip him up if they catch him with the Silence at a good opportunity post Manta, since he does have the double. He will have the double charges when he gets it. Roger.
It's a nice combo there from Mellow Jewel using the Dissimilate to dodge the Spike Carapace. So, oh, the egg's gonna go off and V-Tune's not that close. This looked like a successful egg until last second. Nope. Oh, they barely bring it down. And then they demolish the rest of Extremum. As soon as that's gone, they're gonna chase down Shochlo here, who's doomed up, so he's not getting out. 4 dead. G's the only survivor. And, well, he just came back up, so...
Really nice fight from Na'Vi. Looked a little scary for a second, but yeah, they just too farmed. They have a BKB on the Doom. The Morphling, as soon as he gets a second on the egg, they kill it. Good positioning by them. And game just continuing to be extremely hard for Extremum. Not a whole lot that they can really do.
Yeah.
This last pick, Morphling, just broke. I feel like it just broke everything that they wanted to do in this game. There's just no way to threaten him. It's this Loom that's always in your head, and then you also have Iceberg on his most comfortable hero, his Doom, that he's at 70% win rate, 72% win rate so far.
Yeah,
and the Enigma, which they're now adding to their super comfort, since we've seen them do it now 3 times in a row.
Yeah, seriously. That's gonna be hard to draft against General with only 2 bans at the start. If they have elevated this Enigma to that far up, his General is gonna be gone on here. Does have the black hole. Is he gonna tick out? He's not. So he's gonna get the full black hole off. No damage behind it. But it does give time for VTune to be able to get here. They're going to be able to get the glimpse back on a Melojule. Melojule inside the Static Storm. Not going to be able to get away. They're going to go for the Dark Rift, a fast explosion, maybe blow up the Morphling, but no.
Lucky to survive there. Poor Nefrit in these fights. He's just getting mana burned. That's what happened doing the last one too. The book is kind of just killing him by itself. He just gets Maleficent and it chases him, and he can't do anything about it. They do get themselves at least one nice kill, and Melojule was the one who picked it up, so getting closer to Aghanims, which he really needs this game. They're so far behind. When it comes out, the solution from Navi's already going to be there. The next big item for VTune, very likely to be delivered as Eagle Song. He almost has the E-Blade. Smoked up, looking to take advantage here. They're still in Aegis for about a minute, and Roger in a very cute spot to break the smoke.
Can he blink? Can he blink? Oh no, he blinked right next to the Grimstroke. Well, either way, he broke the smoke, preventing VTune from getting caught potentially, though still had another minute with his Aegis. I thought maybe Extremum went for that smoke with the Aegis timing out, but
Roger and always want to fly, but all about, the team. They'll die for the team.
Yeah.
7 deaths on the 2 of them combined out of the 10. Trying to just protect these big greedy cores who are very rich and would give a lot of gold if they were able to die. And there's the E-Blade. So these supports, Grimstroke, Phoenix in one-shot range. Actually, many of these heroes in one-shot range still at this point in the game. No casual cloak on them either. As Iceberg leads the charge, he has Doom and an Arcane Rune.
Again, there's the Doom, there's the Glimpse back, and we're going to try the E-Blade combo, but he does manage to Icarus dive backwards, and VTune, it's going to take a lot. His Aegis is about to expire. 3 seconds. If they could wait. Oh, no. To be fair, he was morphic agility. I think he intentionally killed himself, so VTune making sure that there was no chance of a Gimp death there. VTune
on the absolute last second of it. That's really pushing your limits.
That was a little scary, but VTune, at least he had it down to the absolute second. That's how you know a team takes good Roche timings. Not me, Fogged. I always forget.
It takes a second for it to get reclaimed, that little extra second too. So that was very close. That was very risky by VTune. They're still, even if he dies there, they're probably in a very comfortable spot anyway. But yeah, just taking an unnecessary risk for sure on VTune, as they are just commandingly in control of this game. Nefrit,
nice initiation.
Egg is in a pretty good spot.
Always want to fly. He's definitely going to die, but the sad part for Extremum is Na'Vi was able to make a clean escape, and they're
going to
go back in. They're going to deal with the Necronomicon units. VTune sees his opening. He's going to go for the back line. G does manage to survive. They're going to go ahead and Dark Rift out on the other side of things. G is going to fall. Everybody in? Not everybody. Chu's still out there, and they're going to try and catch him. He doesn't have dive. I'm not sure why he didn't want to go back, but they caught him barely with the Impale.
Game continuing to be extremely difficult, and always want to fly continuing to eat the eat the ganks for his team.
Yeah, seriously, this man is doing a great job of that.
He is. He just ate a Phoenix egg. That was very nice.
Dire's bottom tower.
Alright, well, V-Tune chops down the last remaining outer tower. Now there's just tier 3s left in their way with Roshan coming up. Potential spawn time here in a minute. So they've got, they could just chill out if they want to.
Yeah.
Jewel.
I can't believe that Iceberg is actually more
caught him! Caught him!
Jump.
Oh, General!
Patience.
That was some serious patience. Well played, well played.
Shot slow?
Shot.
Roger's there,
dead.
man. Whew. Yeah, this game is well and truly impossible. It does feel for Extremum as they're just getting hunted anytime they go try to do anything outside the map. All 3 lanes pushing in. Na'Vi showing no mercy.
Fogged, would it be fair to say that draft-wise, it got consistently better for Na'Vi?
Yeah, absolutely. The way that they set up V-Tune in these last 2 games was just, it was so perfect. They got his hero in the absolute best state as he's jumping forward.
I mean, V-Tune's just being a boss right now, running in and then booking it back out. No hesitation whatsoever. He just knows he can push this hero to its limits.
Yeah, I'm glad they went more toward this style. Anti-mage overall anyway, the hero is still, it's an anti-mage. I'm not crazy about it in most games. They could have probably made it work that game, but this just looks so much more comfortable for them when V-Tune can actually look to get involved early on and just have a pretty decent, a decent hero that actually does stuff.
Yeah.
AM just doesn't do anything. And Mello, he's got another Astral Step. Roger already on the hunt. He's got a blink to chase 2.
He tries to kill this creep wave. Roger might be able to get a spike carapace off on him. Shivas. Okay. Knock down the trees. They know where he is, though. They see him now. Oh, dear. Dissimulate not up for another second. He's got an Astral Step. He'll jump away. Oh, nice impale. Good guess. They spot him for a moment. That's all they need, I think. He went back up. Is he going to tick out? Not quite. Oh, God.
Oh, poor Mello.
All right, does he dissimulate? Okay, Enigma jumps into it, but now he pops over to where General is. General spots him. Mana burn to finish him off. It took a while, but in the end, they corral and kill Melojewel.
They bought some time for his team to get a little bit of farm, which they really, really need. Yeah. And now he does have Ags at least finished, so, I mean, some type of threats. However, Morphling has BKB, Doom has BKB, and Ashivas now too, and they've got everything they need to counteract. Just because of how the pace of the game is going, they're just a step ahead and a full item ahead on pretty much all of their cores, if not 2 items ahead.
Yeah, when you're losing like this, I think one of the worst things to see is like when your carry is like, all right, I've got my new item. It's an SNY. You know, that is just not the big splash item that you're hoping to turn the game around. And I don't blame him for his build. It's just they kind of needed to be able to fight early, but sadly they haven't been able to make many fights work to their favor.
No, and it's like Void Spirit gets Ags, but they have BKBs and Mantas and so many things to play around. So Melojewel, let's see if he can, if he can even find any type of kill setups with this double silence. That's Iceberg. He's the tanky boy in the front.
Breaks. They jump forward. They miss, and there goes that.
And they can't kill him anyway. He just gets, if he gets the BKB off, he's just walking away. And he's also very tanky versus the physical damage with the Shivas. Into Roche, Aegis Cheese. Na'Vi, again, no mercy.
Skeletons.
Roger, look at him. Like, I love watching where Roger is. Look, he's just waiting. Yeah. He's like, someone is going to port down here. Someone is going to make their way to split push.
Yeah. Yeah, always want to fly was ready to break any smoke gangs to the right down the river. Oh, Nefrit! He was given the Inkswell, but he couldn't get the blink off because the Eidolons. That is going to be an egg that is right in front of V-Tune's face. So it just takes a second for him to be able to crack that egg on open. They're going to be making some omelets with the rest of Extreme being the ingredients. Nefrit, he's probably going to lose his reincarnation here, and sadly that second life is going to be a repeat of the first. They're going to try and mass buyback here to come back in, but it's all a setup for a beautiful black hole. General, great setup to force the GG, and they give V-Tune the rampage. Na'Vi may start it off just slightly rocky there, but ultimately, this is a team that just got better and better with time.
Yeah, and it feels like in every aspect, right? Not just with the draft or the play, it's everything. They all look to just get much more comfortable after that first game. Even always want to fly. Like, he dies a lot, but it's deaths that are very valuable, and he got some great vision down for his team throughout all of these aggressive moves that they were able to do. And I love when they can set up V-Tune like this. Just get him his hero, last pick. They saw absolutely everything. He has the pick of the litter, and yeah, he gets that. And Iceberg also plays his Doom and just dominates with it.
All right, we've seen Na'Vi manage to close out this series really quickly, Fogged. Is it Na'Vi or VP? Who's looking better?
Oh, man. Na'Vi, when they get their heroes, look real good. I think VP overall probably is better, but Na'Vi, if they get their certain heroes, like these, the Morphling, the PL, the Dooms, even like the Beastmaster, the Enigmas, I think they look a little bit better.
All right, well, the draft might be the name of the game when it comes to Na'Vi, and they certainly won it for this Game 3.
They definitely did. Thank you, Cap and Fog. And yeah, this third game was a little bit of a run over, as they call it. We're gonna break it down, break the series down, talk to the winners after the break.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
No, I can't remember the last time that I really felt fine.
This game, it showed us just what Na'Vi is capable of. They dominated this game, and it was over pretty fast. Not gonna lie, this draft, Extremum again could not do anything. It felt like they were severely outclassed, and definitely Na'Vi's comfort zone was not their zone that they wanted to be in, and it was a slow demise of Extremum here in the third game. I'm here with Kyle and T-Gov. We are obviously going to be talking to the winners, and we're going to break down the game and the series. Kyle, what did you think of it?
I mean, I didn't know if I was watching a game of Dota or a very hungry person eat a breakfast of eggs with that weird green ketchup that existed for just a little bit of time. Hell of a performance, dominating all 3 lanes. You win 3 lanes, you win the game. Sheaves is making herself. Yeah, you're.
It actually is working though.
I requested Shiva steps back, so for perspective, I don't look so short.
Depth.
But please, if you'd like to.
No, this is actually. You know, you don't even see that I'm standing back, other than you have to turn your
like
whole body.
What are you saying? Thank you guys. Thanks for keep. Yes, I am now normal. Yay! Welcome back.
Get you a box.
I'd like to stay true to myself. I am short, and I will live in a short world. Oh my. Jesus, guys.
You should try just being in the Netherlands.
Maybe I am, out heightening you as much as Na'Vi was out heightening Extremum there.
Yeah, it took them game 1 to really kind of learn how to really tweak their ideas, but yeah, game 2, game 3 are just kind of walk in the park for them. But again, the question is for me, they did win, but why should it take them 1 game to...
Yeah,
Divine Rapier.
Exactly.
Guys, Divine Rapier. Like, come on.
I don't think that's an excuse.
What do you mean? What?
Because otherwise they would have, Extremum would have won game 2 as well, because they should have been able to get to the same point.
The point I'm making is simply, when we talk about Na'Vi being equal to a VP, you have to look at every part of the series and go, if you want to be equal to VP, you shouldn't be losing a game in this type of position in the groups, right? Like, we're putting them at top 2 for a reason.
Yeah, we're being maybe overly harsh of Na'Vi because we have high expectations of them.
Yes, exactly that. But also props to Extremum. They did do very well game 1, bringing out that strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Trying it again, not so much, but it then kind of, I think the big issue was they didn't have big enough playbook to try and be creative during the series. Maybe after the series, they'll have, like, maybe pick this up here or maybe make a different play, but they didn't have the series development that Na'Vi
Is that like a last pick Underlord? I just...
wasn't too strong. But then again, at that point, they were kind of pushed in the corner by Na'Vi, and we have also the person that put them in that corner with us right now. Always Wanna Fly, joining us on the show. Hello, Always Wanna Fly. First of all, congratulations on the series.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right, I have a question regarding the series. We thought you, as a team, were coming in very strong in this one, as in we thought you were going to take it easily. You did drop a game to Extremum. What do you think was the reason for you to maybe have a little bit of a tougher time that we thought you would have?
I have an excuse for first map and for second one.
Okay.
We have one day on bootcamp, we have that our team is not in good mood. And we are not talking a lot with each other, and we just don't want to do anything. And this is that day.
Is it
this
always
day
the Sunday?
No, it's a random day. So that's the excuse. Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
But that's fine because everybody has off days sometimes, so it only makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Who's the problem in the team? Who's in the worst mood? Spill the beans.
One get in bad mood, everyone get in bad mood.
Okay, who started
That's
it?
the point.
Was it you?
I know. No.
Okay. Who gets you out? Because that's important, right? Who is the this third game? You look like an entirely different team compared to game 1. Like who got you out of it?
I know. We just make some funny stuff in a break, and we start playing like Team Na'Vi. not like first 2 games. First 2 games it was matchmaking for sure.
Everybody on their own island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're often second pick quite a lot. Who actually gets to decide if VTune or Iceberg gets last pick? Like, do they have to request it in the morning before you draft, or do they like fight for it during the draft? Like, who gets priority?
Priority, actually, it's about enemy team. What they picking a lot. So we're watching Dota buff, thinking what enemy team will pick, what's their priority, and if they last pick and carry, we last pick and carry too. That's the point.
Okay.
Cool. I kind of elaborated a bit on it already, but what's it like now that you've been together for so long with Iceberg? Like you guys, I remember seeing you guys out and about at restaurants together, even like before COVID and stuff. Are you still friends? Is it wearing on you?
Yeah, for sure. No, he's annoying me every day, every second, but he's still my friend. So that's the point of our team. That's the chemistry.
Nice. So you guys are still friends?
Yeah, of course.
He plays in a team together.
It's blown on mine.
Yeah.
It wasn't my experience.
Okay, I'm playing with him for 6 years. 6 years. I know him for 10 years. Are you for real? Ask me that question.
You hate him, right? You hate him. Yeah. Okay.
Of course I hate him.
Thank you. That's what Kyle wanted to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, I hate him and I love him.
You love to hate him. There we go. And you hate to love him.
Jeez, that's a long relationship.
It is. But it's working out if they can play like that third game. How are you going to make sure that you're not going to have those off days anymore, or minimize the effect of them on your Dota games?
We have team talks after these shitty games. We have team talks, and we yelling on each other. We tell some bad words, and the next day we're totally fine. We're a good team.
That sounds great.
Who leads those?
Yeah.
Is that you as the captain? Is it Mag? Is it do you have
I'm
a psychologist?
trying to be the man. I'm trying to be, but some days that's not working a lot.
I know that feeling too.
One of those days. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us on Always Wanna Fly. We're going to let you have that chat with your team. And
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Congrats again.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing Navi play again in the future, because I mean, when they're on, we heard Fog say it at the end there too, like when they get the heroes they want, when they play like we know they can, they're a super spooky team.
Yeah.
I just can't get over Carl's question. So do you like the guy that you've been playing with for so
long?
That's
a long time. That's longer than me and Zach played together. We were literal brothers starting in our teenage years. Like, that is a long, long time to know somebody and play together. Actually, no, well, they haven't played together as long.
No, but like they've known each other well. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, they're just good friends. You know,
intensity.
It's possible. People can be friends for longer periods of time. It's that is the recipe for Navi at the moment, at least. Let's find out what Purge thought was the recipes to success in the third game.
Thank you, Shiver. It's all about making new friends here. Always Wanna Fly had a really solid laning stage here. This game didn't die 5 times in the laning stage because the enemy's dual lane wasn't as strong. But here's the really crucial moment here of this laning stage. I don't know if you saw, but he's actually got a salve available on Phoenix. He threw 1 delayed attack in to break the salve. And because VTune has high damage and has gotten 4 denies so far, that's why they're able to hit level 2 before their opponents. And Phoenix lost a lot of regen. This led to the first blood that got VTune this stupidly fast Mask of Death. And if you've played Morphling ever, he does lots of damage and you want to set as high agility as possible. And having lifesteal is going to allow him to basically always stay max agility gained and not have to buy any regen. He bought 1 tango in the laning stage here on Morphling. And because of getting that first blood, now he can just spend all of his money on getting high net worth and keeping his agility really high, which is leading him to this 24-7 versus the 12-1 of Underlord. And because of this, he gets solo kills. He constantly pressures by himself. So safe lane, extremely won because of that great denying by VTune and that salve cancel. And then on the other side of the map, they just had a really nice time against the Wraithing. Wraithing is supposed to be a great carry because you can jump in, get these guaranteed last hits with Mortal Strike, but not against 6 Eidolons and General constantly denying creeps and harassing every time that he wants to walk forward here. Grimstroke was a partial solution that you can deal with the Eidolons a bit better because of the really nice AoE you have. But Roger, as well as General, was again able to offset things. So basically, Na'Vi with their draft was able to, despite them being the first picks in the draft, still consistently win their laning stage, leave V-Tune for these late carry picks that have great matchups, and as a result, just have complete dominance in their game.
Complete dominance from Na'Vi indeed in that third game. And when we heard the excuses coming out from Na'Vi, I was very happy that Always Wanna Fly was very honest about that, and we hope that they won't have any more off days, or if they do, they're not on days where they actually have an important match to play. But that was it for the first series of the day. Na'Vi take it 2-1 against Extremum, and that means we are ready for our next second series of the day. It's CIS Upper Division for the DPC League here at ESL 1 powered by Intel, and we are heading over to our next series, which is No Techies versus Team Spirit.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
That means I can't describe the way I vibe, the way I slide, and with the rhymes that make the dimes, I'll close their eyes and fantasize. Young Divine calling their phone number. No, you know I love it. And you know me, I can't sleep without blazing beats on stages for their ones gracefully. And I got a smile that they hate to see. Young black successful, though life gets stressful. Though life gets stressful, go and vibe out with whoever you next to.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move, bringing summer to you.
Oh, ready, let's go. Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it down the world and back again. Ready, let's go. Cause you know like
In our next upper division series of today in CIS, we have Team Spirit going up against No Techies. One best of 3. Which team will come out on top? We're gonna find out as we are starting by focusing on No Techies. I'm here with Kyle and T-Gov, but before I let any of them have anything to say about this, I first would like to hear from the mid laner from No Techies, Ergon.
It's very important to win every game because it's only 7 games and there is no playoff or something, it's just 7 games. You have a lot of time to prepare, but it's still kind of hard to prepare because no tournaments, it's like first tournament of the year and you don't know how teams plays. And also, we didn't prepare too well. We still got bad drafts in the games. I think it's the main reason why we lost them. We still got a chance to go to major. We need to win at least 4 or 5 games, and I think we can do it.
It's possible. The silence is there though from Blood Rain's going to try and finish up the puck, and does manage to get for the double kill before he...
I think we're pretty confident to play versus Team Spirit. I think we are practicing a lot, and right now we're playing good. We're playing better and better, and I think we can win them easily if we gonna draft good. It's I think it's only about the drafts right now.
A lot will be decided by draft, according to Ergon, and that's what we have seen already indeed. And focusing on No Techies here first, we have seen them play against Live to Win and against Na'Vi, and they lost 0-2. Both series, T-Gov, did not look convincing, but they have, I mean, they started out tough. This will be their third series against one of the invited teams.
Yeah, they obviously are going to be playing up against probably the top 4 teams starting off. So I think this is probably going to be the easiest of those like complex series that they have to try and break down. Like if they can win this series, then maybe we can talk about them having this kind of run back into the lateral half of the group stage, but it does look worrisome. They haven't really shown anything that's really been that good so far.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah,
rough.
Yeah, I expected a little more, honestly, just because Solo's captaining the squad. But I also know the circumstances around the forming of this team.
Okay.
Obviously, there was the, not drama, but like the Solo, Ramses, No One Sumel stack that kind of fizzled out. I don't think Solo like really had time to put something together. This is pretty much just, you know, what was available. Let's go play. Similar to the PPD stack in NA. So I didn't have very high expectations, but I think that their ceiling is still going to be pretty high. They just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, and it is very rough to use, you know, the actual, when we hear Ergon say it, every single series matters. You only have 7 series and there are no playoffs. So it's very tough to try and find a style that works for you while you're playing games that are like do or die.
Yeah, you have to maybe look towards the schedule and how that works out. The fact that they do have this week-long break, they maybe didn't put the effort, or not the effort, sorry, they had the correct preparation going into the first couple of weeks, but you'd hope that they've kind of gone back to the drawing board. If they're so easily able to highlight, like, all right, our drafts are an issue here. He didn't ever comment on like the play or shot calling. They were like, we can't even get into the games because that's how like hard our drafts are to play. And that's kind of how I felt from that, like the interview, the vibe. So hopefully this series, it's the proving ground of they've actually gone and done some research, actually perfected themselves and looked at themselves more than their opponent.
Yeah, and on the other side, we're going to focus a little bit more on Team Spirit. We are saying that this is the biggest shot that No Techies has on taking down one of the teams in those invited teams, because Team Spirit hasn't really performed the way we thought they would. And before we talk more about Team Spirit, let's hear something from the mouth of Toronto, Tokyo.
We are not happy with our performance right now because we lost to Team Empire. We didn't expect that, but I think it's fine. Bad days happen. It was a bad day for our team. I think we will play better all other games, and all we need is win other games. I think it will be fine. We will win. My team feel really confident right now, and I feel confident. I think we have good chances to win all other games and go to the major, to Singapore. I would like to go there because it's my dream, mini dream.
Smiling Knight, he's got his PKP. Look at this damage though, it is disgusting. He can't even get his ultimate off, and down he goes. The chase is on, the Spiders are just trying to flee for their lives now.
We will play against no Techies. They have good players, especially Solo. He's player from old VP. It's always respectful, but I think if we play our own Dota, it should be fine. We don't have second chance anymore, so it will be fine, we will win.
Good to hear him talk about, well, first of all, that they also figured that their loss against Empire, that it should not have happened. And it was a bad day for them, and we talked to Always Wanna Fly just now, and bad days do happen, Teacup, so we can forgive them for that one.
They got their one pass, you know. If they muck up today, then see you. That's it, done. No.
Yeah. I mean, he says that too. Like, this is their last chance. We want to be in the top 3. Navi and VP, he's giving a lot of respect to them too, Kyle.
Sorry, you got me thinking about the last bad day I had.
What was the last bad day you had?
It wasn't terrible. You know, running around half naked through the snow. I got back, I discovered I'd had a hole in like the crotch of my jeans for the entire day. And there was a hole in my underwear. But thankfully, I think somebody's going to send some of that to me, which is cool. But to Toronto Tokyo's point, they didn't look great against Empire, and I did expect more. I think they also went for a stranger sort of draft. I don't see them as a squad that should be playing for 60 minutes plus. I'd like them to play with a bit more tempo. And I think people should just stay away from Terrorblade. That's just not a hero, and that's what they played in that critical game 3 against Empire.
Yeah, it is an awkward hero right now, but you know, it can work in the right circumstances. I think we have to show more respect to Empire, though. I think we're looking maybe putting Spirit too highly up there when Empire did perform pretty well.
They did.
Yeah.
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 That being said, though.
Thank you.
I said Empire was going to be the surprise dark horse.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
you weren't here.
No, I wasn't. Yeah.
You got here late.
No, I got the substitute.
Always
Hi.
late.
Always late. Never
Great
Back to the
energy
bench.
from you two guys. Really happy to have you both on the panel. We are very close, one step away actually from getting this series on the way. We are ready for the draft of Team Spirit versus No Techies after the break.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
We
One best of 3 with a lot on the line for both Team Spirit and No Techies, as they will go head-to-head here in the upper division of the CIS DPC League. You're watching ESL 1 powered by Intel, and we are ready for the draft of this first game. We got on the big screen, we got BSJ joining us, still here with Kyle and Tigov as well, and the draft has started for this first game. Brian, these two teams, No Techies, Team Spirit, what do you expect to see from them? Or rather, let me change this, or what do you think of their openings? We are quite far in already.
I actually I have liked all of Team Spirit's drafts so far throughout this DPC. I think I agree with everyone everything has been said about their performance against Team Empire. I was severely disappointed with mainly Toronto Tokyo, who I felt like just kind of got careless and overextended their leads constantly. So he's most likely going to be playing the OD. I feel like anywhere that's not NA, I'm primarily seeing OD in the mid lane. This is a hero that fits his bill. He snowballs his lane. He's almost always won when I watch him. And now I just want to see him not diving tier 2s when the tier 1 is still alive.
That seems very reasonable.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Take it to your pubs, guys. Don't dive tier 2s. Or 3.
Don't dive.
Don't die as well.
Yeah, we saw that punish Navi earlier.
We really understand Durek. Wow.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Kill
Don't dive.
enemy throne.
I think outside of maybe the best 2 or 3 teams in the world, everything in Dota is about limiting unforced errors versus making some crazy maneuvers or what have you. It's just don't make big, huge mess ups. Execute. The problem is there's just so many ways to lose games, you know? Bad pick, a pick that's too early, you missed a ban, you didn't defend your mid tower, you made a bad smoke, you didn't have ward, they snuck Roche,
It's correct preparation, but also
take the L.
Don't force your hand when you don't need to. Like, understand when you're strong. And
You gotta know when to hold them, you gotta know when to fold them, you gotta know when to walk away. Nothing?
No, nothing, Kyle. This is
Kyle.
your monologue.
All right.
This was your time to shine.
And you...
Yeah, I was waiting for the follow-up.
No, exactly.
There wasn't one.
Oh, useless.
There was an entree for BSJ to go into one of his deep dives into this second ban phase.
Yeah.
The most exciting part of the draft for sure.
The Lycan ban. What does it mean?
They don't want to be ran at. There you go. Fixed it for you. But we don't see Clockwork as an opener ever, really. So what do we think about that? We've seen OD quite a few times at the start of the DPC League, but recently it feels like, at least in CIS, it's kind of fallen off. I know that it's still quite picked in some other regions.
It's kind of like a gimmick hero where it first came to light because it's like, brand new hero, can play at support, wow. And then people play at support and they're like, wait a second, if it's this good on support, why is it not a core? We could put items onto the hero too. And then people are like, oh my god, it's a great core again. And then people realize, wait a second, we don't really want to flex it now, we just want to pick it. So the flex and the cuteness of the hero kind of disappeared after a week of it being in the meta. And potentially with Team Spirit, they are just kind of showing, we're just going to pick it. Maybe they flex it, but I expect it to be off lane or mid into that core role.
How would it do against the Void Spirit if that is going to be our matchup?
It's a bruiser. It's very annoying in lane. Arcane Orb is very potent, so yeah, I expect it to be fine.
I would expect it to be a good matchup for for the OD. The OD kind of reminds me of Doom. It's like the minute he gets Meteor Hammer, nobody really wants to land against him. But if he tries to do the whole Astral Meteor Hammer combo and the enemy team just has somebody there ready to counter the play, similar to when Doom goes for the Doom, he's pretty underwhelming from my experience. Like, he doesn't do anything other than Meteor Hammer creep waves or maybe the tower. And he's relatively slow in terms of, obviously he's a fast movement speed hero, but he doesn't necessarily do something fancy. He kind of just wanders around the map, following people up. And he does have problems dealing with illusion heroes as well as summons. And I think them removing Lycan is good, but at the same time, I'm going to be looking out for like a PL type hero in the 4th pick for No Techies.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's why I am just not a fan of the concept. A big hallmark of a lot of the top teams drafting is that their openers, not only are they versatile in terms of the lanes and roles they can go to, but they can mix and match their play. So like, think of a Void Spirit and the edits you can make to it. An OD is just straight up buying a Meteor Hammer and then trying to add, like, that's it. That's the whole hero. That's it.
and you do effectively nothing against BKBs. You can get abused in lane by pretty much anything with a creep.
Ooh, and then they pick Rubik.
And now you're going to get your Astral stolen, and it's going to last longer. And it's, what is it, like 6 seconds when Rubik steals it?
Very, very
maxed out aura?
for sure.
That's 44%, right? So it's actually 5.
Numbers are being.
I'll look this up for you because they actually reworked Rubik's
5.66 seconds, according to the old patch.
Yeah, no, what it does now is that his ultimate debuffs, like it amps the debuffs that he steals, while his passive is just bonus cast range and spell amp.
Of course.
So his stolen debuff amp is only 10, 20, 30%, but at max level, that's lasting over 5 seconds. So
that's true.
Still pretty nutty.
It would last 5.2 seconds.
That's some quick math there, Kyle.
I think.
Ooh. So Team Spirit respond to No Techies' opening heroes of kind of more laning heroes, skirmishing ability, just by going, we're just going to pick a troll. You know, you don't really have this kind of banish, this annoying kind of potent hero that can annoy the troll. There's no like halberd buy right now. Of course, 2 more picks are available. But yeah, Team Spirit, they have really, really strong lanes. And when they hit this kind of 1 or 2 item timing on each hero, be it the Meteor Hammer on the OD, the +1 on the troll, then they're going to be really able to run into what looks like a laning heavy lineup of No Techies.
The Ench and Rubik don't feel great playing against a Clockwork, assuming they're both supports.
And even the CM, like all you need to do is CM mirrors the Enchantress, Clockwork mirrors the Rubik, and then suddenly your map feels awkward. Like CM counters Ench and Rubik counters Clock, but if they're running into each other, then they're not applying the pressure to the cause. So yeah.
And you probably last pick your mid for Spirit still. I'm not sure I'm sold on the OD offlane. I keep seeing it in games I play personally. It's very popular in NA, but it's just
a really good reference point, Kyle. I think we should really continue this. So what about these pubs of yours?
No, BSJ is the expert on pubs, but the NA region likes the OD offlane. Ice plays it constantly. It's just, you know what it is? It's fun. Like, it's got to be hilarious to be in a professional Dota 2 match, and your strategy is to astral and drop a hammer on someone.
You got to time it.
Giggle.
Got to wait for the little bar to go underneath the S, and then you drop the hammer.
And then you back off and do it again. Okay, morph into OD is a little spooky.
For who?
For the morphling.
Why?
Because you can take a lot of damage from the hammer. Not the meteor hammer, but the actual hammer. Yes.
Sanities?
We'll call that the sledgehammer.
It's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
It is probably pretty weak in lane, I'd have to imagine, if they choose to put the OD off lane. Usually when I see OD off lane or Enigma off lane, I consider, like, Viper falls in this category too. I consider these offlaners to be like their entire intention is to ruin the game for the carry. Like, no carry wants to lane against these heroes. And I usually opt to pick heroes that can jungle or rotate between lane and jungle relatively early, just to shorten that laning stage, especially against OD, because until he gets Meteor Hammer, he's not actually threatening your tower or anything, so you don't have to lane, and he's not going to flash farm or push his advantage like that. So the problem I have with Morphling here is that if they don't win top, or excuse me, bottom, because they're Radiant, if they don't win bottom, then I think Morphling will really struggle this game.
And luckily they are covered by the Enchantress, so we haven't really seen it that much, but it is normally a lane securer. It just depends on the type of game they're really going to play with this this Ench Morphling. And also, what are they doing with this Void Spirit? And we can talk a lot about the Morphling lane, but my only concern is they have one strong lane, and then there's not really much presence elsewhere on the map. In Team Spirit, they have these saves, these initiations, this strength of like this team timing, and No Techies, they are relying so heavily on strong lane and set the pace themselves, and then find the pickoffs, utilize that E-Blade to maybe kill the troll before he gets into a good position. And it just, the simplicity of draft for sure right now goes for Team Spirit, and they have last pick.
One thing that I am happy with on the side of No Techies is that they do something completely different to what we've seen them do against Live to Win and Na'Vi. So
is that good?
Well, I think so, because it definitely wasn't working before. So they have made some adjustments. They did their preparation. They did their homework. And this is what they're going to come up with. We don't know yet how it's going to be played out 100%. So
that's true.
I'm happy to see them change it up a bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's refreshing to see a new take, especially after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You need to really kind of just discover yourself and find yourself. And
maybe they did. I think this is it.
Yeah,
the biggest read into the prep is just these first picks, because you have so much time to look at what you want to do. The supports Like, what are you comfortable universally selecting into an empty lineup, right? And in this case, it was Ench and Clock, which we haven't seen today at all. So it's just always really interesting to see how these teams value their 4 and 5 positions and what it is they consider open. Because I really don't think Ench Core is something, same with Clock. Like, they traditionally were played as offlaners, but now they're pretty much relegated just to the support role. I just want to see a Shadow Fiend. Just once. We won't this game, unfortunately.
It's really nice against Morph and Void Spirit. Is it too crazy? It seems like a Toronto Tokyo type of hero.
I wouldn't mind it. I just think it's weird when you have OD trolls the other course. The SF Clock Soul thing, that doesn't still work, does it?
It does.
It does.
It does. Yeah. We just don't see. I mean, if there was a game, the thing is, you go nuke first nowadays on SF. You don't really need the cheese anymore.
This Pugna pick though, like on paper, it does really well because the classic, into OD, into troll. The difference is troll with the Ags can now dispel decrep on himself or the target he's going on, so potentially that can come into occurrence.
It's so much better.
Yep. The way that I see it though is it's a good hero for the idea of they're going to skirmish, they're going to fight, they will have a strong lane with Ench +1, and then they're going to look to try and pressure the map, and it will force itemization on troll to be more defensive. And this is very scary. Yep.
All right, BSJ, final thoughts on this draft?
I just think Team Spirit's draft, I think T-Gov said it well. It's so much more straightforward. I think it's easier to play. They don't really have somebody that clearly wants to go in on the side of no Techies. I would much rather be the troll with the backup he's got in the team fights than I would be the Morphling with the backup he's got. I think a Maelstrom Ags BKB troll is pretty unkillable this game, and he's got OD to save him. He's got Mars to go in first. I just think he's going to be able to carry this game.
Yep, I got to agree. Surprisingly, with BSJ, the Troll Axe changes everything in your relationship with against Pugna, and it's just an easier draft. You have natural frontliners. You can face check to start engagements. It's just simpler. I'm
just worried about the fight where you have like the Morphling go in, the Pugna go in. They're all going on like one hero, and then that one in prison comes through. And then the arena on top, and then like Solo's on his Enchantress, like, what am I doing?
Yeah. So how about just BKBs? What do you do against BKBs?
Right. I know you like Team Spirit's draft better, but what does no Techies need to do to have a good shot here?
There is a lot of greed coming out from a troll, from an OD, and there's a lot of pressure on Mars to be in the right place at the right time to kind of counter those aggressive plays. And if he does that, then Team Spirit should walk with this. If he messes up with those big team fights early on, and the map feels small, OD troll, not enough space to farm, suddenly Pugna Morphling running quickly, so there's a window to win.
All right, well, let's find out how this first game will play itself out. We are heading over to our commentary team of Purge and OD Pixel.
Thank you very much, Chief. Yes, looking forward to this one here. No Techies versus Team Spirit. Purge, we had the panel not really thinking too much of No Techies draft against what Spirit have. Do you sort of agree with their concern, or do you see something that they're missing from No Techies?
Yeah, there's definitely some dangerous things about their lineup for sure. They are going to focus on the laning stage ideally. I mean, Enchantress typically does do very well in terms of stabilizing your early game, but when the team fight aspects come, they're absolutely right that Team Spirit's lineup is just easier to initiate. Clockwork's going to disrupt things. You're going to have to deal with Mars ulti, despite having a bunch of ranged heroes, and so things are just going to be a little bit worse for them. And typically Void Spirit offlane it can be good, can be very effective, but it also has some weaknesses in terms of team fight output compared to typical offlaners like Mars.
Sure, and sort of overall, this decision from No Techies to drop down the Morph, is this something that you consider Spirit's lineup's going to be pretty well kitted out to deal with? Like, how hard is it going to be for this Morph to pop off?
Well, I mean, Morphling is going to have the potential to get burst, to do some burst type stuff, but they've got Banish for saves. They can use Clockwork to counter-initiate for saves as well, so his laning stage should go relatively good, but Mars will probably just get like one Bulwark, so he won't have to worry too much about being out-harassed and out-traded. So I guess the laning stage should be okay for Morphling, but those later stages against like Troll and OD can be a bit swingy, depending on how well they're backing each other up.
We'll see. So the lane setups here, of course, Solo is going to be heading down bottom to keep Crystallize protected down here in this duo lane. And then up top, as you said, sort of the offlane Void Spirit, it can mean that you lack sort of certain elements down the line. I mean, how's the lane sort of going to go off? Is he going to be able to pressure this Troll early, or is Yatoro going to not really be too fussed about what he's up against?
if it's like small skirmishes, Void Spirit will be fine against Troll basically, but in terms of like fights to the death, I don't really see Void Spirit killing the Troll Warlord. CM certainly very vulnerable, right? Like you can throw her in the air, toss her back, and then also do an Aether Remnant, so which is a lot of movement on CM side. So killing CM is certainly very doable. So as long as Miposhka has decent laning stage, this won't be too terrible for Spirit. I think Troll will be able to get his farm, and I don't think he's necessarily going to have to leave this lane either, because dodging, all you got to do is dodge the Aether Remnant, right? So at least pre-level 6, I think he's going to be pretty safe in this lane.
Well, let's see how things are going on in this mid matchup now. Toronto, Tokyo against Aegon. Pretty even on the CS for now. How do you imagine this is going to go down? You know, between sort of the Decrepify and the Blast, is Aegon going to be able to get an edge, or is Toronto, Tokyo able to sort of use the Astral to match what the Pugna's getting out of this lane?
I like the Pugna pick to match up here, because obviously a hero like Void Spirit's going to take a lot more damage, but Pugna has options like this. He can use Blast, he can use Decrep to prevent his opponent from getting last hit, so he has some counterplay basically. When he hits 6, obviously getting a long duration life drain is not looking very good, because he could just be banished in response, but at least his lane up until then will be relatively straightforward, and he's got all this magic damage to help counteract the fact that OD has really high armor.
See down bottom, nice little setup there from Solo. He's able to slow down Sobad and allow Crystallize to chase and get the kill. Same time up top, Malik. He's into the trees. No point in dissimulate yet, of course, so they're able to slowly run him down. Zayat's trying to do his best to keep him safe, but he cannot keep Malik alive. As both teams getting a kill for the carry here in the laning stage.
Looking pretty... I guess in some ways I like it better for the Troll Warlord. He killed the offlane versus a support. And also, Void Spirit, because he's not a typical offlaner, is going to struggle a little bit more to stay here if Troll gets like 1 or 2 more kills. So, got to be careful for Malik here. Yeah, Miposhka classically just has great positioning, so I don't really see him getting going into any kind of feed here.
No, for sure, and he's still got a lot of regen to pop through 2 mangoes and pretty much a full stick, so the spam's going to continue to come out from Miposhka. And as we can see on the CS, Malik definitely suffering the most right now, as he is the bottom of the CS on the cause. See down bottom, Sobab. He's going to look to set up onto Solo. The arrow, so the spear comes in, of course, from Collapse. Solo is trying to stand his ground, but the battery assault damage, it's enough. Crystallize, can he get some kills in return? Collapse trying to get out of it around the trees, but Crystallize will find him. So another kill here for the Morph, as the team's happy to brawl down here. But can't help but feel that Crystallize, he's going to be the happiest right now. I mean, 3 minutes in and already having 2 kills on the safe lane Morphling.
Yeah, he's and unlike last game, he's gone for a fast Wraithband, and now there is a Boots coming for the Morphling. So slightly different build than we saw when with VTune playing Morphling last game. But this is going to give him nice mobility, and basically he's going to be able to offset the movement advantage that Clockwork has, and therefore be able to like punish more normally. So he'll be a little bit more lane independent as a result with these first couple kills. Lane still looks dead even, basically. A little roaming from Rubik, but
yeah, Zayat
on both sides.
Did come in to see if he could get the Courier Snipe, but Spirit were prepared for it, and likewise for the move there onto Toronto. Tokyo also very much ready for Rubik to try and make that sweep in, as he'll head back up towards top here to just make sure the Malik's going to be safe and no dives are going to occur between Miposhka and Yatoro. And sort of...
Malik. I was going to say, you went for the fast earn. I'm a little like, it's obviously great on offlane heroes most of the time, but if you're not getting kills with it when you buy it this early,
sure,
it can be a bit of a struggle. So unless they get a snag here, Malik's going to continue getting pressured pretty hard.
Yeah, I was just saying, definitely going to see if they can try and get Miposhka, but already Malik, he's the one getting gone on. Yatoro and Miposhka running him down. Has now got the point into Simulate, actually going to go back in aggressively over towards Miposhka, but Yatoro's able to slow him down once more. Malik pops the pulse. Miposhka trying to get into the trees. Can he keep himself hidden? Malik and Zayat's, they're hunting for him. Zayat's, he's going to get frozen. Miposhka's still alive. Finally goes down. Malik does manage to grab him there with the Remnant. So we'll get him those charges. Yeah.
So necessary there. That's 800 HP now, so he gets a full heal out of it. Or he'll save 1 here, unless we see another... Okay, very wise for Yatoro to rotate over and grab that.
On that bottom. Collapse. He's able to take Crystallize's Courier. May lose his life for it, though. As he's trying to juke. Crystallize actually off the mark with the waveform, but Solo, another slow, comes into play. It's another kill for this Morph. Crystallized 3 kills now in the safe lane.
He's super happy. Morbid Mass finish, halfway to Treads. Yeah, he's good luck laning against him for the rest of this laning stage. Gonna be rough here. So Solo's really picking the Enchantress, definitely paying off here. It's justifying all of these morph kills, and even if they have some teamfight issues in the mid game, if Morphling's far enough ahead, he's just not gonna care too much.
I mean, when it comes to those sort of fights in the mid game, who do you think Crystallize is going to look to morph into the most? Like what sort of OP morphing can there be this game?
Mars Spear is excellent. Mars combo is generally good. Switching into OD would be nice too. Can always protect himself or other people with advantage. We'll fight top though.
And Malik again getting
right now very vulnerable to what Pugna offers. So haste rune the perfect rune to get that kill.
And we see it. The way the mid lanes continue to go down, it's just been continued free farm between the two of them. 40 for 4, 38 for 9. Both heroes getting equally the same amount out of the lane, and Toronto Tokyo, he's going to have that hammer done. So we'll see what sort of setups he can get going, see what movements they have coming over, if they want to try and put the pressure onto Airgon, or if Toronto Tokyo wants to try and make moves onto the carry.
Yeah, this is a pretty crucial moment usually for OD as a hero, is that the moment you make Meteor Hammer, you definitely have kill potential in almost all heroes. And Pugna is definitely also vulnerable here. You give yourself a mana increase. He's got a huge percentage of mana, which is good and bad, right? Gives more more mana to OD, but Pugna's total mana pool is also really high, so the Sanity's Eclipse doesn't do a huge amount of damage. But if they get a rotation here, get a Pugna kill, that could be really big. This could force Pugna to just spend more time jungling right now to try to avoid this timing window, or to wait until he's got somebody to like sit behind him. Because the hardest counter to this OD Meteor Hammer build is after he banishes somebody and starts channeling, you just interrupt the Meteor Hammer, and then OD starts feeling really bad as a hero because you're missing out on like hundreds and hundreds of damage from the Meteor Hammer. So sit Rubik behind the Pugna when they go for this kill. They could absolutely turn that around, decrep OD and kill him afterwards. So they've got some options, but Ergon just has to be careful not to feed away a death here. And then OD should start to fall off a little bit compared to what you normally expect out of him.
Let's see who's going to be the first to sort of make that move here. Top lane. Malik, how are we doing on levels? He has hit the 6, so he's got a lot of damage output here with the burst of the Astral Steps. Remnant down. Miposhka will be found here. At the same time, though, Yatoro getting the root up. Malik still with the step ready to jump back out to safety, though, as he's away. Making sure that they keep that pressure on his 2-1-2, getting some good kills now, and of course keeping those earned charges up, so increasing his potential to make those moves and have that additional damage.
Yeah, and this is maybe one of the nicest things about offlane Void, is that you can easily blow 2 Astral Steps every time for a kill, because it's less of like you need to stay alive, stay vulnerable in the mid lane. So that pick off, and now his recovery from the rough looking first couple minutes is looking really solid.
See Solo and Zayat trying to see if they can catch Yatoro. They're gonna try and lead in, but underneath the tower, a little too far for them to dive any further. They're not too sure of what backup there may be on the way. Towards the mid, Toronto Tokyo was trying for the setup there with the Astral, but couldn't quite get in range as Ergon plays it smart, keeps his distance.
Super wise. With Clock here too, like channeling life drain is just not looking good. Maybe he can trick him into this with Hammer being used. Maybe Pugna will go forward and they can get a grab.
He's keeping it safe, Ergon, playing just on the edge of that cast range. So Toronto Tokyo can't quite grab him. And now he's even got backup Malik also nearby in case anything was to kick off around the mid lane, but doesn't look to be the case. Yeah, so bad. Realizing he cannot quite get in there. He's going to look to turn his efforts elsewhere. Top, Solo. He's just come in. He knows Yatoro's trying to back up and find some safe farm in the jungle. Him and Malik making sure that Yatoro doesn't get that sort of space at all. And yeah, as soon as pressure's in, Yatoro, he's just going to move himself to the other side of the map.
Very good that they're playing in this area, though, because it's playing in the enemy jungle like this gives you really good flexibility. You can gank the safe lane, you can gank the mid lane, so it's going to force OD to play just a little bit more safe, maybe spend a little bit more time jungling than he'd like. And again, if he doesn't get any of these kills, the hero ends up feeling okay, but not as incredible as other top meta heroes. So if he's spending time jungling, maybe OD doesn't feel very strong mid-game.
That's Malik. He's looking for Miposhka, and he's found him. Extra firepower here from Crystallize. as Crystallize continues to rack up the kills. 10 minutes in, dominating, and starting to put some heavy pressure onto the tier 1 tower top. At the same time, of course, bottom lane, Yatura and Collapse, they're also trying for the tier 1 as well themselves. We'll see if either team wants to come in for any sort of defense. It looks like Spirit won't do anything about the top tower at all. And it looks like on the other side, No Techies the same to be said. Mid lane, that's where No Techies is going to make the aggressive move, though, straight in on Toronto, Tokyo. And of course, a lot of magical burst here between these three heroes to get the kill.
Yeah, this pivot for the last pick here on No Techies has really paid off. Grabbing the Pugna mid gives him the decent matchup. Void Spirit looks a little bit rough the first couple levels, but Malik's playing great.
Yeah, and immediately onto So Bad as well. As they've got the setup, that extra burst, perfectly timed, coming out there of the Stolen Astral. As they're looking pretty hot so far at 11 minutes. One tower as well, of course, that all-important tower.
That's really big. Yeah, especially because, again, OD's pressurable here. This gives them more avenues to initiate and go find those opportunities. They're going to have great vision because of Enchantress creeps and stuff like that. So if they just constantly keep an eye on their opponents, they should be able to outmaneuver them. And one thing that, despite No Techies not winning a series, one thing they've done really good is invade. They're consistently organized and together. Solo's got them under control and puts them in the right place on the map. And with this advantage, it's looking pretty solid. Morphling rushing for an E-Blade here. He's going to be one of the team's killers. And it's pretty good with the Pugna when they're affected by Decrep and they get E-Bladed as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they don't get saved by OD, people are going to get blown up.
Yes, they are going to have a pretty extreme amount of burst, which is it's definitely going to lead to situations where if Yatura does want to step up to the fight, he may have to be a little preemptive with the use of the battle chance. Otherwise, he's going to get 100 to 0. And of course, the state at the moment, of course, Yatura, he needs more time. He's trying to get his Battle Fury done before he even thinks about getting involved, and even then, he'll probably want to get the second item done on top of it. So still a good amount of time here where No Techies can really keep up the pace, and this morph's just going to be much more ready and able to fight and have so much more impact before the Troll's quite caught up in it, as in is at the same point to fight.
Yeah, kind of an interesting skill build by him too. He went 3-2-3 skill build to help them take the early tier 1 tower bot, but now just opting to run between camps and kill neutrals. He knows what his game looks like here, because he's not going to be able to lane too safely anymore, so just needs to be able to jungle as much as possible while No Techies gets ready to go for kills.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because No Techies there just hunting across the map. The four of them. And yeah, Crystallize that first hurdle. It's pretty much complete, just 100 gold away from the Eagle Song. This is going to be a super quick E-Blade in a game, as we say, that this E-Blade is just going to carry so much value for the amount of damage that they'll be able to get down onto Team Spirit's heroes. As Team Spirit, they're going to try and push this tier 1 top. Malik's going to come over. Looks like No Techies want to try and see if they can hold this.
Killing Morph is pretty hard here for Spirit, but they go in.
Well, not so bad. Off the mark with a hook shot there. Won't quite be able to grab Malik. He's going to sort of leave himself behind it, trying to distract No Techies from chasing for more. But No Techies, they're going to be able to kill him and continue to chase on. TP out from the two of them, though, will keep them safe. No TP cancel here between Airgon and Solo. But still, good hold from No Techies, keeping the tower up, getting a kill, and continuing to sort of force Spirit to play into their hand.
And they didn't even lose that much for this. Morphling shifted from Ancient, so he was already here. He just knows he's not very killable here, unless his opponents like get a blink on Mars maybe, like blink stun him before he starts morphing. But other than that, like Team Spirit's gonna have a really rough time ever killing him, so he can just play max greediness level here, while his team is just across the map doing smart stuff.
Yeah. And when you sort of look at the lineup of Spirit, is it a lineup where it was expected for them to have a bit of a slower start? Do you sort of look at this mid OD, this offlane Mars, and you would kind of want to see more from them in this early stage of the game?
I mean, the core matchups just weren't very good in the end, right? The Pugna versus OD kind of goes back and forth, so that among other things. And they didn't really crush Void Spirit as hard as they could. And Enchantress, also really, really strong laning hero that already made the Morphling, who had a kind of okay lane, even better. So it's like, yeah, maybe you can expect these things. They're not that out of the realm of possibilities based on the draft screen. And then afterwards, like, ganking Pugna is certainly one of the things they wanted to do. They wanted to kill Pugna lots in the mid lane, but 5 minutes has passed since that moment, and Pugna hasn't died yet. He's 3-0-2 now. He's got a Force Staff, Arcane Boots, and a Veil of Discord. So he played super safe. got Force Staff, and now their gank options on him are just not really there.
I mean, they'll find themselves a Rubik here, but Zayas was sent on a pretty wild mission to try and get the bounties. He knew the probability of him dying there was going to be very high, so not too much of a loss here for no Techies.
Yeah, OD's playing from behind slightly, 0-1 and 0. His net worth is still good, but look at this threat. Like, it's not super safe to channel Meteor Hammer here. And now because Pugna is no longer killable outside of getting, like, Mars ultied, as long as he does not get, like, Blink Mars ultied, he's going to be pretty safe also.
I mean, see with the scan up top, they know that Collapse is around here. See if Malik wants to try hunting into the trees, as Collapse does have a TP available, but yeah, Malik is going to find him. Ends up walking straight into him. The setup's there with the Yules, and just look at that burst damage. Amped up by the Decrepify. He disappears within a second.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage here. Level 4 Dissimulate, earn damage. Resonant Pulse. Didn't even have to use Astral Step. Just got a little lucky finding him in the trees, but they'd scanned him about 20 seconds earlier. He had nuked the wave, so they figured he was going to keep playing there, so nice grab for sure.
We see Toronto Tokyo, of course, just queuing up the BKB. He needs it. These cores are going to get completely blown up without that magic immunity. And especially as 16 minutes in, we do have it. The completed E-Blade on Crystallized mid lane. A move to be made onto Zayas. Malik's going to be in with the backup, but Matt won't be able to save Zayas. Does turn aggressively onto Toronto Tokyo. Malik takes him down on his own. He's ready to start forcing back the CM. TP out for the clock will save him, but the Yules control for Malik, buying time for potential follow-up. Team Spirit, though, have also got backup inbound. Collapses around.
Oh man, this is so rough for Team Spirit. This is a necessity BKB on OD, and you saw the exact circumstance of that last night.
Yeah.
He gets a decrept. It wasn't a solo kill by Malik, but it was a decrept plus the normal damage of Void Spirit, and that was more than enough to make his life hard there. So he's going to get BKB, so that doesn't happen again, but like, it doesn't accelerate OD being effective. Normally you go like Meteor Hammer into Fast Blink. That way you can start setting up this Meteor Hammer combo. I don't think we've seen a single Meteor Hammer hit a hero yet. And that's going to make the hero not feel good.
I think we haven't really seen a Meteor Hammer on a hero. I think we've not even seen really an arena either from Collapse. They just haven't found the chance to use it. They're going to smoke up and try and make something happen here. Coming in around the Roche pit. But Malik, he's already got the setup onto Collapse, and boom! Collapse is gone. The sanities will be dropped, but not really a significant amount of damage whatsoever. As no Techies are fine, they'll just turn over towards Toronto Tokyo. He's going to be dead as well. Sucked down by the life drain, but Poshka also going off. As this game, it looks pretty hard, Purge, for Team Spirit to do anything about this. There's no Techies. They're just getting far too far ahead.
I mean, yeah, the smoke breaks. The Observer Ward spotted everything that they wanted to do to approach, and killing Mars, that's by far the strongest teamfight hero that they had on the Spirit side. The one thing kind of going okay is they still do have a Battle Fury Troll, but his net worth does not compare to Pugna's and Morphling's. And Pugna's one of the best mid heroes in the game for accelerating things. It's like, good luck defending your towers against Blast.
Well, here we go. They might find Aegon this time round. Arena's dropped. They've caught him.
That was great. Killing him works, for sure. And he used Decrep already on Troll Warlord, so pretty much perfect circumstances for the counter initiation. But his net worth is still stupidly high. He's got a Blink Dagger now, so he'll be able to position even better when he does these initiations.
And we're seeing Crystallize. I mean, his farm just coming in so fast this game. Him and Aegon remaining in that top spot. BKB just about a Mithril Hammer away for him. And, well, of course, as we talked about, you know, the BKB is very much essential for Spirit's lineup. Likewise for himself. He gets this BKB, and there's going to be very little ways that the Spirit can kill him unless they get a sort of perfect hook shot into the Troll being by his side and pummeling into him.
Very tough. And he's got Growbow too, just going to amplify the magic damage that he does to his opponents. Might swap out for the Band Brace. Nope, he's going to stick with the Growbow. Wants to do as much magic damage as possible. Looking at smoke here for no Techies. They want to keep the tempo up. Crystallize should be able to take this tower by himself. It's not too common to do it by yourself at this stage in the game, but they just know that he's got so much damage and he's unlikely to die. They don't even need to be there, so they're going to try to get a kill mid while Collapse thinks they're busy.
There we go. Quick setup and...
god, every time.
Anyone they find is just evaporates. There is no chance whatsoever. I mean, you see 1,800 magical damage coming out in an instant. In literally less than a second there, when amped up.
This is the power of the Veil decrep. Before Veil got reduced in numbers a bit, it would basically increase all the damage you do by 2. So you'd get 100% more magic damage. And it's not quite as high right now, but all it takes is, one other magic nuker. And man, even Strength here is getting blown. It doesn't have any magic resistance yet on Mars. So that's part of it, but yeah, it's really hard for them to survive in these nice movements. So no Techies just outmaneuvering their opponents.
Well, they certainly are. Tier 2's starting to be taken. As that's the second one they've found this game here. Some very quick objectives being found. And yeah, Crystallized, that's the BKB complete. So he's going to be feeling very sort of free and able in these fights to go in however as he wishes, without any sort of worry of Team Spirit being able to turn and collapse onto it.
Now the mid tower gets pressured. Gotta deal with Nether Ward. Gotta deal with nukes. So hard. Pugna classically, actually, one of the hard counters to OD due to Nether Ward reflection. I mean, you're spending a lot of mana to cast Arcane Orbits, 20% of your current mana pool. Well, the more his mana continues to go up, the more damage he's dealing to himself. That's why another reason BKB is so necessary here. Again, it's an item that just protects him a bit and actually get him ahead.
That for sure isn't necessarily going to give them the power to kill these cores, as Malik trying to set up onto the CM. Defensive Astral will buy some safety from Aposhka, but as soon as he's out, he's taken down.
A glimmer from the clockwork, but just not possible for it to be faster here. Mars getting some farm on the other side of the map at least, but now that focus is gone from the mid lane, now he has to run away again. He can't even get into his own jungle knowing his opponents are there, so I won't be surprised to see him just get out after this one camp. Just terrible position to be in for Team Spirit. This map control and the Morphling this far ahead. It's got about 2,000 net worth on Troll. It's something at least. But Troll getting a little close to Ags. That's one good thing going for them. 2,000 gold until that's finished. Now we'll give him some ability to remove Decrep, remove E-Blade, that kind of thing. Take fights. Still's going to be taking insane amounts of damage though. No BKB anytime soon for Troll. So even if he can dispel stuff, he's going to have to be fast on his fingers to press Battle Trance.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that he's definitely going to have to worry about the most, and something that's almost certainly going to come into play each of these fights, is if Zayats is able to just grab an Astral, right? I feel that's going to be one of the strongest ways to deal with the Troll, because he can't dispel that once he's in the Astral imprisonment.
That's a really good point, yeah. And another thing that's going to make Troll ulti look bad, Voidspirit just finished his Agnum Scepter.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, he's going to have 2 silences that if he uses it early enough, it doesn't matter if you spin, because you can't. You're just going to be silenced, possibly bursted. They're going to do a smoke on the Spirit side, TPing back Troll, roaming over. Clock in a sit position, this is good, unless he gets spotted. Still hard though, would have to tuck into this little tree. They go on.
They're going to get the jump on Malik. Can they get the Spirit? Yes, they can. Straight down. He comes into the combo. Malik down. They'll see if they can maybe catch something else. So bad. Scouting forward with the Rocket Flare. No hook shot, though, for 50. Solo. He's going to try the Shadow Amulet into the trees. They've got him, though. Straight in with the Spear. The smoke pays off. Spirit able to sweep around and pick them off one by one there, the two of them. As no Techies weren't quite prepared for them to come in from that angle. And we saw, Malik standing on the ground. I think he was almost prepared for the smoke, but collapsed just a little too quick with that Yule's initiation and catches Malik off guard.
Yep, maybe didn't anticipate the timing of his blink Yules. Like Mars had a rough laning stage, but now his network looks okay.
Now he's going to find step onto another collapse as he catches Zayats. And again, Zayats, he also, without any team around by his side. But won't dodge the neutral creep there. Gets pushed in by the cogs. And there's a tip over to So Bad there for Collapse. At least getting to see the funny side of it.
That also would have been Odie's first kill of the game as well, but it got stolen. So, yeah. I mean, either way, Collapse definitely doing a lot to get his team back into this match. The fact that he didn't die too many times in the laning stage got his Yules, got his Blink Dagger, and that's what allowed them to even have a chance to kill the Void Spirit here. Because no matter anything else, without having both Yules and Blink, I don't think there's a way Void Spirit doesn't react in that last engagement. So they get a kill on the map, but it wasn't necessarily against the most important heroes. And Crystallize still 6-0-1. But at least their net worth is semi-comparable on the Spirit side. This gives them hope that they can continue this path if they keep getting these pickoffs. Even if OD might not be the best carry this game, or the best mid hero this game, eventually he's going to have some really powerful items, Blink, Sheepstick, that kind of thing that will give them more tools. So they just got to keep buying time and get pickoffs here and there.
Again, no Techies trying to do their best to really limit the amount of the map that Spirit feel strong in. I've seen Spirit do a good job of dewarding their half of the map though, as right now pretty much all the no Techies ops have been removed off their half. Still the map also looking quite dark for themselves as they also haven't quite managed to get vision out here.
They're scanning, anticipating the smoke in, but seems clear. No Techies is pretty comfortable playing slow for a bit of time. Most likely just waiting for Roche to come back up before they want to force any major engagements, especially with the crucial items that Spirit has right now. They cannot be too careful with throwing the next fight. If it happens, you're going to see Team Spirit get a lot of map control. Let's see a fight, though.
Oh, Yatoro! Oh my goodness, he's gone! The first to walk in, and the first to quickly get sent back. So bad, he's going to try and TP out. He's not making it away. And Malik, he's not even done. He's continuing to chase. He's got the setup on him, and Pochka stolen hook shot from Zayat as he flies straight in. And Spirit getting heavily punished for what I guess was just sort of an awkward way for them to try and lead themselves out of the base there, having the troll on the front lines.
I think No Techies took the gas off for so long that Team Spirit got a little too stagnant with realizing how much of a threat there is on the map. In that case, it was an instant stun and an E-Blade combo. And just all it took was that one stun, that one Rubik lift from Zayak, and that's a dead carry. Everybody else tried to run for it, but they were still too close. And now they get Roche on top of that. It's a great couple of minutes here for No Techies.
Yeah, just continued clean play from them here. Very, very solid. And in a matchup where, you know, this is definitely one of the tougher teams in the league, expected at least, you know, Spirit being one of the invited sides. No Techies so far this game making very solid work of it. As we see there again, yeah, Yatoro tries to get the lead in. But as you say, as soon as he's caught out by one disable, he just gets taken 100-0 so quickly. But the move is going to be now from Team Spirit as they continue to fall further and further behind. And Crystallize with that completed Skadi. Level 20 on him as well, keeping himself a solid 2 levels ahead of anything over on the side of Spirit's team.
Scotty's going to be so good. The slow against range heroes is incredible. It's really tough to play against, especially if he's got BKB. So if he gets on top of OD, outside of like OD banishing himself, it doesn't matter if you're BKB, you're still going to be slowed. So a huge timing window for a team fight viability on Morphling's side. And Butterfly afterwards would be perfect. Yeah. Same thing. It's a perfect time against OD. He can't hit his attacks. Troll is going to have issues with it as well, so just being ahead on Morphling here gives him so much ground to just control team fights. And he got the Titan Sliver. Oh my god.
He pretty much works out as like an instant like plus 40 damage at least, right, with the percentages in play. And of course all the other benefits are insane.
One item grab. And he's so confident, he's just going to come hit a tier 3 and this team is nowhere close because he knows.
Yeah. Oh, down bottom. So bad. He's found the catch onto Zayat. I'll see if they're able to get this. They are. They drop the sanities down onto him. Looking now over towards Malik, but Malik's got backups. As Crystallizer solo head across. Toronto Tokyo is going to put the BKB, but at this moment in time, the right clicks for Crystallizer too much. Toronto Tokyo is trying to run, but Crystallize just takes him out with the right clicks. Toro's trying to fight up, but the burst is too strong. Triple kill for Crystallize. A Spirit, they just cannot fight this.
I was so pathetic watching like OD try to get away from the Scotty, dude. 50% movement speed slow against range heroes, like the BKB, he just is crawling away the whole time. And that one tree bottom sec, more trees than just one to get out of that. What a completely decisive fight.
I mean, it's going to cost them at least one set of racks here, maybe even more, as they've got the catch on him at Poshka underneath the tier 4s. They try and save himself with the glimmer. It's just too much damage. There's nothing that they can do to protect one another from this aggression from No Techies. Mid-rack's taken straight up towards the top. No buyback on Yatoro or Meposhka. Toronto Tokyo back in for the defense, but as we've seen, it's just been such a rough game from him. 1-4-1. He's just not been able to achieve game.
Yeah, I think this game is a perfect representation of how to beat OD. You can't, if possible, you can't let him get these like hammer kills that are very viable once the hammer is finished. And if you avoid that, then the game is going to be pretty straightforward in terms, assuming that your like other carry matchups does well and matches up okay. So just the main things, the early game. Don't let him win the early game, don't let him get kills. And then he's just going to look like a really mediocre mid-hero.
Nice. It's certainly looking like that this game. As just in comparison, No Techies cores, Crystallize, still yet to have died, 11-0-3. Flawless play from him, and even Airgun. He's only died that once, failed it when he got caught out down bottom, was feeling pretty relaxed because of the state of the game. Other than that, 7-1-11. Mid lane, looking for the jump in onto Solo. Get the spear connection, the backups coming in from the rest of No Techies. They're trying their best to at least kill the Enchantress. Will be able to burst through him with the rebuke. Jump forward from Malik with a dissimulate, burst down so bad. Solo buying back, he's ready to just finish this off with the rest of Team Toronto Tokyo, having to use the BKB to just run away.
Now they'll just push bottom, I assume. BKB's forced a little bit on both sides. Pugna doesn't have his, but they've still got the Aegis, so time to go high ground.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be anything holding. No Tech is back here. Yeah, as you say, this is just the dream timings here for Crystallize. He is so fat right now.
Their best chance to get something good is they're gonna spot Mars for sure. All right, yeah, now they can.
Zayat, he's able to find him, leads him with the telekinesis straight down into the Ether Remnant. Malik jumps across, keeping the silence upon them all. Yatoro having to back right out as he's burst down to pretty much his death. The arena's going to be dropped, but there's no follow-up. Crystallize in position, waiting for Collapse to come out of the Astros. They kill him off. Malik diving up into the base. There'll be a buyback from Collapse, but he'll have no arena for this hold now. Sanity's dropped down, but it isn't enough damage to get any of these kills. Malik able to simply jump away. A Spirit just cannot, even with the 2 buybacks coming into play, they get nothing.
You can keep going, I think. That Aegis goes away, but Crystallize actually really needed mana. Get a grab here. Good advantage.
And Malik, he's going to have him though as soon as he comes out of it. Remnant down, so bad, dragged down into the clutches of Crystallize. As Yatoro, it's just so much. Again, Toronto Tokyo trying to do his best, offers some moment of safety here with the Astral, jumps in place of the Eve Remnant to try and protect the troll, but Yatoro still ends up going down. Toronto Tokyo is going to put the BKB, but Crystallize, he's got the GG is called. 31-10, 33 minutes in, 24k lead. No Techies, they absolutely crushed Team Spirit here.
This is the best game they've played so far, I think, in the DPC League, and they just look like a really solid team. They basically got what they wanted out of the draft. They played around the threats on the map very well. They made small mistakes here and there, but they were pretty small in the total circumstance of the game, and they pushed their advantages when they had them. So really well played by No Techies. Completely deserved the win.
Yeah, it really did seem. I mean, sort of overall as well. I think looking back at it, do you think for the side of Team Spirit, what would they take away from the way that they ended this draft? Do you think we'll see them do things differently?
Maybe not pick OD so early. I think did they pick a first phase? I can't remember exactly, but I think the rest of the draft looked okay. But that Pugna OD matchup just bought them a lot of time and just pressured up the tempo so much for the rest of the map. Or win the safe lane more convincingly. That's the other thing that went wrong that could have gone better. So, couple small things, maybe draft related, but Team Spirit's still a great team. But that game they had very low chances of taking the win with Techies playing that well. Absolutely,
yeah. No Techies on top form here in this game 1 as they'll start this best of 3 off with a victory for themselves. No Techies up 1-0 against Team Spirit.
You love to see it. No Techies coming in hot in this best of 3 series. A lot to talk about, a lot to break down. And we will do that after this.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
We said we were happy seeing No Techies change up their playstyle because what we have seen so far hasn't really impressed us. However, this game, No Techies showing up and proving why they should be considered a strong team. They take the first game, team spirit my panel, my drafting analyst, everybody said Team Spirit had the better one.
Yeah.
Everybody said Team Spirit was going to take this.
I did say how no Techies could win those.
Yeah, you did, but you only did that because I asked you.
But that's what a good host does, Shiva, and you bring out the best in us. Thank you very much,
You're
Shiva.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Morph had a hell of a good start. I mean, you get ahead a couple of Wraith bands, Morbid Mask early on, you're just unlaneable against, he owned. I forgot that OD is still the same even when it's mid lane. Force staff at 11 minutes from Pugna, so he's no longer threatened by the clock or pretty much anybody. And Pugna does own both Troll and OD. So yeah, just totally wrong on that one. Didn't expect him to come out of the gate so strong though. Like that was a really well played game from the Techies.
Yeah, I think the important thing is simply this Pugna v OD. When you think about what OD has become as a hero, it's pretty much what Pugna does, right? You want to pressure towers, you want to be annoying, run around the map, but then this Pugna pick, it wins the matchup and then does exactly what the OD wants to do, and now the OD feels out of place because he can never try and pressure these towers because he's already lost his own tier 1s. Like, how does he play Dota when he's like out on an island trying to meteor hammer these towers by himself? It doesn't really work. So yeah, it was pretty much a disaster from the point in which they didn't flex OD away from the Pugna. I think they could have maybe drafted that last pick a bit better.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on Mars, didn't really get to play.
The Mars last pick's just odd in that spot. I don't like OD offlane, but at least it would have given them a higher hero priority in terms of fixing the holes in their lineup. But yeah, to your point, when mid tier 1 dies, what does OD do? You don't really clear creep waves. You're just like, I'll go meteor hammer stuff. Not great. Yeah.
Not great from Team Spirit, but obviously very great from No Techies. And what did Brian think about this game?
For this game, I'd like to highlight the benefit of having a core on your team, such as Morphling, that requires no assistance in order to farm. The early rotations from Solo, capitalizing on this exact characteristic, is what I believe was crucial for No Techies to take over this game. So as you're going to see here, Crystallize, he's left alone bottom. They know that unless Mars lands a spear on him before he morphs, that there's nothing they can do to kill him bottom. And you're going to see Solo. He's not necessarily going to kill Yatoro top here, but while Morphling's hitting creeps bottom, Yatoro's just busy getting messed with by Solo. And if you think that's annoying as he's already getting bullied away from creeps, we're going to pull up the next clip where now that he's been pushed out of lane, about 40 seconds later, Solo has a ward deep in the jungle right here. He sees Troll Warlord at the camp and he says, oh, let's go mess with him again. Anytime I spend messing with this guy means he's not farming. And these early rotations coming out from No Techies were pivotal in using their small early advantage at the 8-minute mark to quickly gaining a large advantage, as what we're going to see here is now that Morphling has rotated top and he does not need assistance taking the tower because once again he is not under threat. You see Troll Warlord does need assistance bottom because if they were to bring 2 or 3 heroes here on the side of No Techies, he would die. This allows No Techies to bring more resources to the mid lane than Team Spirit. And by bringing more resources to the top lane early and then the mid lane here, they're going to get early towers in their advantage. They end up taking mid tower off of that. And even though Team Spirit gets bottom tower, this snowball effect happens really quickly. It goes from a less than 1,000 net worth lead at 8 minutes to over 3,000 at 11.
Yep. Crazy how fast that can go indeed. And we talked before we saw the game after the draft, Tigov, it was you that said that if No Techies was going to have a shot, it was about map control. And if they got a head start on that map, they were going to get out of control. And they did.
Yeah, they do, on paper, have some of the best heroes to be able to do that. The Ench being able to invade, there's Pugna to be able to take these towers. And the question is, where was Team Spirit's real kind of fight? I think they felt a bit awkward trying to run into this kind of solo Pugna doing all these plays. Like BSJ said, you have this Morphling who's very independent. And the amount of effort required to try and pressure that hero, you're suddenly losing your other towers or Ench is invading your jungle. So you can see how this lineup does work and get to play into a greedier lineup. I just feel like I'd like to see Team Spirit make some better big team plays where they bring overwhelming pressure to the map and just try and kind of, you don't always have to play Radiant v Die. You can kind of get that 50 map split going differently where you occupy a bit of jungle, and they just kind of were happy to bring on the pressure and they didn't want to make any big moves.
No, they set back maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, if you just exist on your side and don't, like, we saw yesterday even in the OG versus Alliance game, like Alliance is down 3k gold, they're diving tier 2s mid, they're making plays inside enemy jungle, 4 people are across the river. If you can't play in this way, you might as well just concede because you're not going to out macro and you're already losing. So what's your win condition now?
Yeah, we said when we saw Team Spirit play against Empire series that they ended up losing. We don't want to see Team Spirit be forced to these long games. We want to see them be aggressive, take control of the game, take control of the map, basically play the way that No Techies played in this first game of the series. What will happen in the second game, though? What lessons will be learned? What adjustments will be made? We'll find out after the break. We saw amazing performance from No Techies for the first time in the upper division of the DPC League for CIS. Can they do it again, though? They are up against Team Spirit here in a best of 3. We're heading to the draft of Game 2. And I am sure that Team Spirit is going to do whatever it takes to force out that third game, because we heard it from them as well. This is a series that is as about to be a must-win as it comes, because you gotta be in the top 3. Actually, you gotta be in the top 2 if you want to make it to the major. We're joined by Brian on the big screen. We have Kyle, we have Tigov, and we're in the draft for this second game. And already Team Spirit is opening with something much more conventional than they did in their first game.
The Knicks then immediately coddle anyway by No Techies. So very brave. I don't think the Nyx is really as much of a counter as it used to be. You don't typically see Coddles play the GH way, hiding amongst the trees, spamming out waves. More of a support bot.
Yeah, like Solo loves this hero. I think that's the key thing. And when it's in that 5, you're playing for that TP, you're playing for that kind of global pressure and being very in their face, and it's less about the kind of carapace like you mentioned. And when they pick up an instant Monkey King and they have last pick, they can easily put the Monkey mid, or you have a very potent Kotl plus Monkey lane, because the Monkey just starts putting points in his tree dance and can start jumping onto the creep waves and spamming it out with the Kotl.
What do you reckon of these openings, Brian? What do you think?
I just love Keeper of the Light. I think it makes any game plan way easier to execute. All those early map movements we saw last game from Solo, I think, are even more potent when you can bring in heroes that normally lack mobility on the map. It makes it so that there's towers you would normally not want to defend because you'd have to TP 2 or 3 heroes in, but one of them who gets recalled in, you defend the tower, maybe a fight ends up not happening, that guy can just TP away immediately, and if he really needs to, he can just get recalled again. We've seen that before, so I really like that with heroes like Monkey King because he's willing to fight, but he doesn't necessarily want to fight super early on. And any hero that fits that description just loves to have that option where they don't have to adjust their farming patterns in order to fight, but they still can be a part of the game anyways.
Yep, he's like a bar bouncer. He's always ready. He'll avoid conflict, but when necessary, we'll throw down.
That's actually pretty damn accurate.
Yeah, it's like Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick. That's exactly what Monkey King does.
10 seconds remaining.
He is actually fairly soft-spoken, generally.
Yeah.
It's true. This is true. All right, so we got a couple bans coming out. We got the Bristleback, Rubik, and Timbersaw removed on the side of Team Spirit. And we have the Bat Rider, Phoenix, and something else removed on the side of No Techies. And to be honest, the No Techies bans are like standard. Viper there as well, which obviously comes after the Rubik ban, I would imagine.
It's strange that they banned Viper after seeing Bristle and Timber banned out. So you got to figure Spirit was already getting...
It's simply about the strong lanes. I think No Techies, they might be kind of subscribing to the idea that this is going to be their safe lane, and they are just covering themselves with 3 bans that will be annoying to play into. Bat Rider against Monkey King, of course, Bat Rider loves playing into that, of course, can just Firefly around. Phoenix and Viper are just very strong laners, so especially when you have this Nyx, it could easily be some core Phoenix plus Nyx, core Viper.
I'm looking at Veno for them. I think Veno's probably the 4th hero against Monkey King that's super obnoxious. Pretty much any ranged DPSer that can constantly cancel your tree dance and basically threaten to kill you without ever going on you, because the Monkey King Ags, the Monkey King Ultimate, the entire hero is predicated on making you commit onto him, and any hero that doesn't have to is his hardest counter.
Yeah, I mean, that is, thing is, it's somewhat region locked to NA, it feels. Like, I was watching Division 2 yesterday, and Arkosh, they played Venomancer against
Don't get too carried away, though, Carl, though. Like, sure, Arkosh might like it, but in Europe as well, they also do pick it up. I know Hellbear Smashers, for example, to dabble in the Venomancers when needed. So I can see where it does lie in its strength.
Gee, I wonder if you're a fan of... Do you like that?
I do like the Venomancer. I think it's a very fun hero.
What do we think about Morana? 3rd pick, high prio.
If they pick like a fall setup stun with it, like a Sand King, would come to mind here.
Mars, okay.
Mars works too. Sand King and Mars are pretty much the 2 prime candidates in the offlane for point-click stuns that you can follow up with the arrow. The thing about Morana for these 2 heroes is usually Mars and Sand King don't have that enough damage to represent solo kill potential, but since Morana usually plays off map, even if Morana's not with the Mars, whoever's laning its Mars will often have to play a lot more careful, because anytime the Morana happens to be there, that extra 4-second arrow will be enough to bring most heroes down.
The thing here, though, the response from Team Spirit, they go for one of the few position 5s that has the attack range, that has the early skill set to play into Morana, because you have the Thunderstrike as well. So they have a laning answer to this Morana, but... Team Spirit kind of looking at what No Techies did right in the previous game, like, you know what, let's just kind of shuffle up a couple heroes, but we'll try and play the same game plan that you did in game 1.
Well, it's what Navi did too. This Morph hero just seemed like it slipped out of people's minds for a little bit, but especially when you look at all the heroes getting banned out early phase nowadays, Beastmaster, Puck, Bat Rider, they're almost never in the game. That just increases Morph's value, and it's such a... I don't want to say a simple win condition, but you always feel good with a Morph on your team. The timings make a lot of sense. They're easy to play around. You're a brutal hero to lane against if you get any sort of advantage. And against Mars Mirana, you're going to have like a 20 base damage advantage. You're going to feel just fine. Just don't get stunned.
Just don't
Just
get
that
stunned.
easy. Don't get speared into arrowed.
I would love for No Techies' last hero to fit the way they played last game, where whatever hero this is, Monkey King wants to be played around, Mars wants to be played around. Let's just pick a hero that kind of does its own thing, so it allows these supports to be able to either call them to the fight, Coddle can stay in his own safe lane pushing out the creep waves, and Mirana can roam to where she pleases. I just think as long as they pick a hero with like that, they should have no problem dealing with the morph, at least not as much of a problem as Team Spirit had in the first game.
They kind of have like two options, and like the idea I'm thinking is like a Lina or a DK type idea. Of course, the Nyx into Lina feels kind of awkward, but the idea is you have that instant stun into blow up potential and someone to play around. And Lina easily can itemize to be that hero play behind the Mars, and then DK that instant blinks Dragon Tail onto the Morph lane will be very helpful.
Whenever you have a Mirana, it's nice to have a couple lanes you can play around. I'm a big DK fan. I am shocked we didn't see it picked up. Huh?
Yeah, it's multiple lanes as well.
Yeah. And I just think the itemization's like I've played a DK where you get this, you need like some sort of scaling item like a Midas or Maelstrom or whatever, but you get a Mage Slayer and you get a Heart and you're unkillable. Like, it is just absolutely absurd how much damage you can withstand. I'm a little concerned about Spirit's damage output. The support duo we saw again in that Na'Vi series, so nothing really new here. Low damage, but you have such great kill potential. You're going to rotate around the map. If you have map control, it's so easy to abuse it, but I think that the Spirit lineup is kind of predicated on being ahead. They don't have a natural frontliner just yet. No Techies have absurd team fight with the Mars and the Monkey King. Very good Roche control, so I hope their last pick is just something that controls tempo. Still want to see Shadow Fiend. I don't know if we'll ever see Shadow Fiend, but one day.
If you mention it enough, like eventually you're gonna be right.
That's the thing, right? You don't watch every moment in a kind of clip or a highlight, right, or a stream. So when Kyle says it 1,000 times, that one person will maybe catch it that one time, and then
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kyle was right. It happens sometimes, and I was there. We got Grimstroke banned out by No Techies. I don't know if we've seen Toronto Tokyo play that yet, but I would imagine. I guess this is a nod to the off-lane Grimstroke we saw earlier this week against the Monkey. That was absolutely, and actually it was Collapse that played that as well. That was absolutely
so hard.
dominant. Yeah,
Like, you just kill the Monkey King over and over, and that's life. Especially with a Coddle as his potential lane partner. Yeah, Grimstroke Nyx, they're just gonna run at the Monkey King and he dies.
Yeah, and
the dream against Monkey is to just fire away from long range, and Grimstroke does that well. Same with Pugna.
All right, so what is Collapse going to play this game? What is left in for him?
Venomancer. It's actually...
I still believe it's very good.
It's so good against Coddle and Monkey King. Like, the No Techies lineup needs vision, right? If you just have a sentry down with a ward on a high ground, suddenly the Mirana invis is neutered, the Mars can't blink forwards, T-Gov's dancing.
Pangolier, that's what I'm just going to throw out a cheeky little Pango before we move on. Just get some fight, get that kind of anti-arena hero that can kind of trade off in the team fight and just disarm, annoys Monkey King a bit. So, yeah, I
Death Prophet?
I like Pangolier a lot more. It's actually super hard
Thanks,
to play Mars against Pangolier. I'll vouch for that one. That matchup is super obnoxious.
And I'm just trying to think about Team Spirit. They kind of want to have some maybe soft flex going into that last pick from No Techies, and they go, okay, let's go for a Storm.
Wow.
All right, so Void Spirit off lane, go for a Storm.
Into Monkey King, that's very ambitious.
Well, they want to set a high tempo this game then.
There is no save on No Techies. Like, they will, in a fight, whoever gets jumped will be dying. Like, the Coddle cannot do anything.
They're still last pick.
But
Who knows?
it's such an annoying trio core to play against. You know, they all have their own escape mechanisms. So Mars Arena actually just isn't effective. They have two supports that, they might feed a little bit, but they're always going to be able to find return kills if their cores are nearby.
They could still put Mars mid. We've seen Aragon play it multiple times, and they could still go for an offlane OD and therefore have a save.
No OD.
I would love the Death Prophet myself against Storm. I think
me too.
Their biggest weakness on Team Spirit right now is absolutely zero D push, and I don't actually know how else No Techies can capitalize on this draft.
That's a really good point.
To pick
the silence is so good too.
Even I think DP or DK still kind of rise up.
Yeah, that archetype. You know, something that allows you to capitalize on your mid game advantage. And again, silence is really nice. You want Monkey King in theory to have another hero that's dealing building damage, so that your Wukongs and your positioning can protect them. something else has to frontline. They might Medusa or something, but I'm not a huge fan. Oh, even better.
Okay.
2-0. Wrap it up. That's Aragon. This man has like 1,000 Meepo games. He is nigh uncountered. He has whatever that set is. It's Bristleback Incognito. Wow. What a pick.
All right, Brian, up to you. Who's going to take this one then? Is the Meepo
I
picking
guess
up?
I'm going to leave the analysis up to Kyle because he's probably the one with the most experience of losing to Meepo.
Oh, God damn. Brian, I swear if you were here right
I appreciate
Mute
that,
him.
Brian. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you at the end of the game. Kyle, yes, as the resident expert.
It's yeah, you can't kill the Meepo. You're gonna need to play near flawlessly. The trouble is morph. Like we just said, all these 3 cores, they have escape mechanisms. The 2 supports are a bit squishy. Meepo loves playing against heroes that net owns. They're gonna need BKBs and the damage, but Meepo is still, I think, one of the most broken heroes in Dota 2. I know Aragon can play the hell out of it. They've got a really nice setup around it, bunch of team fight. I think that this is the pick as long as he doesn't feed really, really hard.
Just want to quickly do one fact check. He said he had 1,000 Meepo games. I checked his Dota buff. He's got 51. That's not that close to 1,000.
This is his esports profile.
No, it's his pub profile.
Okay, you think he has 800 total games of Dota 2 played?
I'm just saying. Do you think in the last 5 months he's played
That's a really
950
credit
games?
to you, Aragon.
Has he
That's a
played
really-
950? No, anyways, no. I like the idea of the Meepo. I think there is answers to it where you have that kind of the storm jump plus eventual morphling.
51 out of 800.
All right, guys.
That's
Guys. Thank you
13%.
very much for your
Amazing.
contribution. How is Aragon going to play this Meepo? Is he going to pop off? Is it going to work? We're finding
Yes.
out with Odie Pixel and Purge.
Yeah, let's find out indeed here. Game 2 of No Techies versus Spirit. Purge, how deadly is this Meepo pick here for Team Spirit? Are they going to be pretty terrified by it?
I mean, basically the panelists pointed out, Mars has to play against all these guys that can jump out of his ulti because they have mobility tools, and that's the stuff that nets counter, the root stuff. So hypothetically, that would mean that because there's 3 mobile heroes, Techies is perfect, or the Meepo is perfect. So if it can work, Meepo's in a weird place right now. He's not played much at all. I haven't even been in a pub game with or against a Meepo in what feels like months now. So I'm a little unsure. Maybe he's got something special figured out. Maybe he's got a new build. Maybe it's just the perfect Meepo game. He's be able to roll with it. But hopefully he's level 2 Meepo, 22 Meepo. So he's got some experience under the hero.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely a fair few games underneath his belt. I saw on the, of course, they were talking about his pub win rate, his win rate in pro games. He's had 21 games in officials, and with a 62% win rate on Meepo. So definitely a respectable win rate to have there. And because in this game, down the line, if it gets to the point where this Meepo is getting pretty out of control, Team Spirit, their lineup, how well do their heroes deal with a Meepo?
I mean, Meepo's main benefit is that you are an accelerator. There's a reason he was really bad in Dire Tide, right? So you're supposed to get ahead of everybody else and use that huge advantage in a really abusive way, basically. But if you're playing even to other people, aka if it's in a really late game scenario and Meepo has about as much farm as some of the other cores, he's not going to feel very good. But if you can get ahead and pressure effectively, that's how you make Meepo feel good. The biggest thing against him right now is that it takes a long time to get divided we stand. I think it's level 4 right now on Meepo, so you don't get to accelerate quite as fast as you used to be able to. So as long as Storm doesn't crush it mid and Meepo gets a little bit ahead and gets some really smart ganks off, then he can absolutely carry this game with the matchups.
All right, look at sort of elsewhere on these side lanes, this draft sort of outside of the Meepo. Anything that you feel is going to be really strong this game?
Well, the Monkey King matchup against melee heroes is always fantastic if you can get that set up, but the downside is that you're paired with Coddle, so you're not necessarily going to be able to fight to the death to get lifesteal necessarily. It's more like if they go on you, they're going to get Coddle blasted, and maybe that'll be enough to get a swing kind of a thing. So maybe they can pressure Monkey King pretty well in this dual offlane with the Nyx and the Void Spirit. I have a lot of faith in Void Spirit offlane after seeing the last game. Obviously, different player playing at this game, but... and then on the opposite side of the map, we could see Mars up against a Morphling once again. Went pretty good for the Morphling in the last match, but Malik with the interesting item build starting with Orb of Venom, which I kind of like. Basically allows him to run down the Morphling constantly at level 1 and lower his HP and force him to use more regen, and therefore Morphling's damage will go down, and then he should be able to get more last hits. So the pressure relationship against Morphling is really important and intricate there. So definitely important that you keep the pressure up on him. I don't know if spear into arrow combo is going to be that realistic against Morphling, but it'll certainly be easier with Orb of Venom and once Mars hits 2. So maybe they'll be able to pressure the Morphling a lot, and Miposhka won't be able to offset it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see if they do find that setup onto Yatoro. But here we go, ready to get the action back on again. And I mean, so, and overall as well, you know, for Yatoro on the Morph, as you said, we saw last game, of course, no Techies. Crystallizes Morph had an incredible game. Is this game going to be tricky for Yatoro? Much that he's got to be aware of?
I mean, his matchups are okay. He doesn't have to worry too much about Chainstone, for example. There aren't really any obvious Orchid heroes, so Morphling seems just like a fairly strong carry here in terms of the matchups. And if he has a good laning stage, obviously things get completely out of control. So Morphling, in a way, is sort of like your cheese sort of like lane winners, like let's say Ursa in past patches, where it's like, oh, well, you just crush the lane, so they have to leave kind of a thing. If Morphling has a good early game, that's kind of what happens with this damage advantage, and it just gives you such lane control from a carry position. Ooh, maybe kill him a push here. He doesn't have arrow. Seconds. But yeah, so basically if Morphling has a good laning stage, he can just completely dominate the offlaners by himself, and then it just gives you a lot of resources, very similar to what Brian pointed out in his Weatherman clips.
And as you say, down bottom, we'll see how much of a good time Crystallize is going to be able to have against these two melee heroes. As Collapse is so bad. As well as both being melee, they've still got pretty good burst potential between the two of them. Top, Yatoro. Have they got enough damage to do the shifting they have? As that'll be the first blood there. The two of them are able to just right-click him out of the lane there at this stage. Of course, the attribute shift just not high enough level to shift him into the strength quick enough.
I caught the start of that one. That one was a blind arrow, basically. He landed the arrow as Morphling retreated, and they followed up on it. But he had missed his initial one in the lane, but basically they used God's Rebuke to apply the slow from God's Rebuke and the Orb of Venom, and then they tried to land arrow afterwards. In that circumstance, it was arrow into the other follow-up. But Morphling's real slow, 280 movement speed, so the fact that he went for Adaptive Strike and not Waveform maybe cost him his life there additionally. But maybe he thought he would get more last hits this way.
Either way, he's certainly going to have to be careful. They can't afford for them all to die early in the laning stage. As we saw, quite a different showing from Crystallize last game. Didn't die at all on his morph in game 1 of this series. And we're seeing mid lane, Toronto, Tokyo, slightly with the CS, but Airgon hasn't had any problems. Hitting the level 4, getting his second Meepo out. That sort of period where we are going to see this Meepo farm, what you would imagine to be incredibly quickly. We'll see how well he's able to utilize the jungle.
Stacks are going to be a big aspect of this. I don't know why Mirana TP'd mid just an arrow a large creep. That's kind of weird, but she did it.
It's hers now.
She killed the Alpha Wolf. Stacking's a really big deal, though. This is kind of cool. Stacking Rune while stacking Small Camp. It's going to go to Storm, though. But the Small Camp, very easy for Meepo to clear here. So the stacks are big if it transitions into Meepo getting ahead. Mixed stacks are just going to sap some of this experience. It's not really worth him using Impale to get one tiny little giant wolf. But Mirana back to the top lane again. The fact that he could get all this done without Mars being completely owned was pretty solid. And they've got Orbital Corrosion on Mars too. Minus armor, not that incredible, but the generic stats of it are going to be really good against everybody other than Morphling, basically.
And so for Team Spirit, how would you like to see them play against the Meepo? Like, is their sort of intention going to be to hunt the Meepo aggressively, or are you going to look to just try and punish the rest of his team whilst he's still in this phase of focusing on his own game and not really quite able to help out side lanes?
Both of those are definitely options and things that you can do against Meepo. Killing stacks or limiting stacks can be really effective. Putting wards down where you expect the stacks to be, that way you can gank him later on, is really effective. But I think generally just killing him is certainly a really good option. Voice for in trouble bot though.
Oh yeah, with that.
Ooh. Got dissimilate.
Oh, only just getting out of that. Lots of
Damn.
I mean, Solo's still trying for it. And oh, he's done it! He's actually done it there, Solo. My goodness, very nicely done. I mean, he pretty much, he did it perfectly there, Solo, with that complete chase from
the ward.
from his jungle over towards behind the tier 1.
Ward on the cliff, and that allowed him to spot where the Void Spirit was moving, made it a little bit easier. I'll look at the D ward or not, but Bingo here on Monkey King as well, so this is going to be really nice. They can use this to zone out Void Spirit, deal some damage to him if they really want to. Maybe get a kill on Nyx Assassin.
I've been wanting this.
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing, now with the solar bind ability that you can just have that easy setup to make sure that, that they can run, but you're going to hit them with at least 2 Illuminates on the way out.
That's cool. Meepo rotating over to clear the super big stack, which in some ways is pretty nice, right? Like, he gets the gold on Meepo. He's splitting the experience like 2 or 3 ways, but in that moment, Nyx Assassin was a little zoned as well, so they just pump a little EXP into the safe lane here. Mirana takes the mid lane. In the meantime, this is another nice thing about having Meepo. He's so good at jungling that it makes it really easy for you to catch up an experience in your fort. And because Malik was doing pretty good against the Morphling in the laning stage, it doesn't hurt him to just dip the Mirana away briefly either. So once again, they're just kind of maximizing their gold gain on the map.
Well, see bottom, they're getting in aggressive with the move from Toronto Tokyo straight in onto Crystallize underneath the tower. And they will manage to take in there. TP was being thought about, but not feeling that they could do anything to turn things around against the 3 of Spirit.
Catapult will die here most likely, but good rotation for sure. Limiting Monkey King's ability to impact is going to be helpful if they can get those kills. Looks like Meepo queuing up super normal items. A couple Wraith Bands going into E-Blade is what he's aiming to do with Power Treads, of course. More stacks to clear. If we check his net worth in comparison to everybody else, he's just a fraction of a little hair ahead of Storm, so nothing really incredible just yet. But maybe he'll get a lot more done. I haven't seen real proof of Meepo being incredible just yet in this match, so maybe it'll come. Go and spin.
They're going to catch on to Zayat, but instantly out. He's leaping away. Toronto Tokyo's got the chase down. Drags him back with the Vortex, and still plenty of mana to play with, as they'll be able to chase and finish off the Mirana.
Expensive. I wasn't sure he's going to leap the 3rd time there. At that point, he seemed very dead. I mean, he makes Storm spend some mana, but Storm's got Clarity Potions. He just gets a regen now. I don't know. It might limit the Mirana. Not the biggest deal. It's only her first death, but she's also level 5, which is pretty solid, I gotta say. It's going to leave the Tome most likely available.
We'll see bottom. They're going to go on to Crystallize again. Toronto Tokyo continuing to keep this pressure onto the Monkey King with these movements down towards the bottom lane. And 2, very, very painful deaths here now for Crystallizers. His game is definitely getting shaken up here by Toronto Tokyo's movements.
And it doesn't even hurt Storm either. That his regen is still going here. He got full duration out of that regen rune, which is insane. So far, does Meepo feel as valuable as Storm? Absolutely not. But Storm has been playing a little bit better here with these pickups. So.
But I have so much more impact than he was able to do last game on his OD. So a completely different sort of momentum we're seeing Spirit being able to achieve here in these opening 8 minutes. And just all a question of if the Meepo is going to pay off. How much is Airgon going to be able to do when he steps out of that jungle inevitably in, however many minutes time, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, when he has the E-Blade done over the 2 Wraith Bands. We'll see how prepared and ready Spirit will be to be able to deal with him.
The other tough thing is just that Monkey King's not going to have as good of a game. Monkey King's net worth is below the Morphlings even. And in the offlane, Malik's been playing great. He's got more net worth than Morph by about almost 500 gold. So he's in a great position. He's 800 gold into his Blink Dagger, which will surely give them lots of great setups. But this is the solution against Monkey King. You just run at him and you kill him with enough heroes. You don't let him get these little boundless kills in lane, and having a Coddle back him up doesn't completely cover your bases there. And we're seeing that pay off when Storm gets these ganks.
And in terms of the Monkey King build, do you like this? Would this be sort of your go-to build on Monkey King nowadays, going for the Witchblade? We do see a lot of carries like to do this. Some like to go for the Witchblade, some like to go for the Maelstrom, or some like to go for the Ags first. I mean, what's sort of your favourite way to build the hero right now?
I don't like Witchblade very much on this hero. I think it works well. One team that consistently does it is OG, but that's because it's an offlane Morphling. So the benefit of Witchblade is that all of your clones, when you ulti, can apply Witchblade, but it doesn't stack like multiple instances, it just refreshes it. So like, if you can get a perfect ulti down and somebody's in the middle of it and they have to run through all those Witchblades, it's basically like old
It's like Echo Saber basically with your ulti, but more damage. But the problem is that like unless you have a really good setup, OG used it well with a Naga Siren who could guarantee a song into Wukong's command, but they don't have maybe the best setup for that. So it feels a little weird to me. Now, but they also might be looking at it as like, we have a Meepo, our timer is like crushing mid-game. So I just want an item that's going to do damage, give me some survivability, and make me feel more effective. And Witchblade will do that much better than something like an Ags, which would take too long to get maybe, or maybe even Maelstrom, which, I don't know, you could maybe argue is still worth buying. But, so I think that might be what they're aiming for here. Hit this timing, get some pressure in, have some damage output from Monkey King. But generally, I'm not the biggest fan of the item. I think it's a little bit of a trap if you don't have good setup, like they could with different heroes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how much they are able to get achieved when they do have the sort of the combo of the arena with the ult, and of course Meepo probably being able to clean up target after target if they get the big catch. But as we see on Spirit's lineup, they do have the relatively elusive heroes. You know, Void Spirit, Storm Spirit, and Morphling, with multiple ways to really react if Malik does come in and try and set up with the arena. It's going to be rather tricky for no Techies to catch multiple heroes unless we see some just sort of godly Earthbinds come out from Aegon's Meepo.
Yeah, and the fact that his net worth is not that far ahead just worries me a little bit right now. I mean, Storm is going to definitely run into problems once Blink comes out on Mars, and Malik playing Mars is doing great, so he's going to get it at a good time. He's going to be able to ideally counter-initiate on some of these goes, but there's the 4 heroes other than Morphling on the Team Spirit side are all so good at getting kills. It's going to be hard to always be there for all of these fights. So he's going to have to carry his team real hard in the next couple minutes if nobody else is able to do so.
Let's see as we get things back underway. See what Toronto Tokyo is doing so far with his quick lead, and actually we're seeing him himself. Do you like? I was talking about the Witchblade on the Monkey King, Witchblade on the Storm. Do you think this works well with sort of the timings of the Storm, or do you not necessarily like how it disrupts maybe some of the other more traditional items that Storm likes to buy?
That's kind of cool. So I think the reason he's doing this is because of the Meepo, actually. Okay. Because Witchblade is an excellent item on paper for anti-heroes. They don't usually have very good agility gains, which means that they don't have very good armor, usually. And Storm normally doesn't care that much because he's got pretty high armor naturally. But against like really high physical damage sources, getting a little bit extra can be nice. Like against a Slardar or something, hypothetically just having free armor on Storm is really helpful. So maybe because of like the high physical damage coming from Meepo, coming from Mars, coming from Monkey King, wants him to have this like earlier tempo item. And also the other thing is that Orchid isn't very good against Meepo, right? Yeah. Silencing just one Meepo doesn't do very much. So I think he's trying to get like similar levels of gank and offense, but also that hybrid of armor is going to be pretty useful if he does actually get caught later on. I think that's why he's altering his item build past the norm.
Sure, and he's definitely going to have a very quick timing on it if he can keep up this pace. Still holding us that top spot here, Toronto Tokyo, thanks to those first few kills that he's been able to get involved in. Overall, though, no Techies as a team crawling a little bit ahead in farm. 1k lead overall across the 5 of them. And Spirit, how we're seeing them get space for Yatora. I mean, obviously losing that top tower, but now meaning that the wave is in a much safer place for Yatora to farm without too much worries about being caught, at least until that blink is done, and then you can imagine that Malik is going to be ready to get very aggressive.
There goes bottom ult. They're going to try to defend their safe lane tower. One downside of the Void Spirit's not the best pusher here. Barely misses taking that Carapace damage. And once they blast the wave, it's Catapult v Catapult, and here's an arrow as well. Yeah, they're doing a great job defending this. I'm going in.
Yep, they're able to get themselves straight over towards Solo. They'll start things off with a quick and easy cold kill, and the Static Storm's down. He's trapped Aegon. Aegon in trouble. He's just going to be straight up dead. A big kill for Team Spirit as they are able to get in and find that Meepo. Aegon not able to get himself out of the area in time.
The power of Disruptor, man. Barely touched in almost all regions, but today just we're being reminded that it's a really strong hero, not just because of the fact that you can force these kills and up your tempo, but also because Static Storm's just such a multi-purpose strong ulti. Like, there's so many strong mobility cores, it feels like you have to have like mobility cores play right now. There's a spirit in every single game, basically. Having the ability to just silence for 5 seconds is so powerful against those kinds of heroes. Way better than having like a 1.5 second stun like most supports.
Actually so bad. Teasing out a few leaps here from Zayat. Maybe up to the 12-minute rune spawn. We'll see if there's going to be anything nice and potent here for the Storm to get his hands on. Toronto, Tokyo. There's the Invis. Might be able to allow him to get set up into the jungle. How are we seeing on Airgon's E-Blade timing? Yeah, still 1,800 gold to go before he has that completed.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, he's got Ghost Scepter, so he can protect himself a little, but there's just a lot of magic damage coming from Team Spirit, so it's not even like it gives him that much of an advantage right now, so he's just going to continue hitting creeps, and he's got a little bit of time till he gets his next Meepo too. So, I don't know. Watching him die in that last fight kind of just filled me with a sense of dread, like, this is what we're going to see. Meepo's just going to AFK jungle for 15 minutes, and then he's going to somehow get things done. Like, E-Blade's the right way to play the hero, and Snare Earthbind is good, but like I don't know if I'm going to see what we need to see out of him this time. I'm a little bit apprehensive about it.
I mean, because do you sort of feel that in the games of the past where Meepo's been strong and felt strong, like 13 minutes in, for the Meepo to be having a good game, he would be already quite considerably ahead of everyone else in terms of farm?
And also you actually have threat of getting a kill mid too. But because you get your second Meepo at like level 4 or whatever, it comes so late that it feels like